Okay, I'm just gonna go through the game and just like explain shit. So basically, you know, nothing useful for anyone. It would probably be just as useful to just do a run. But, well, whatever. There's nothing to really know about Orient Express. I think everyone knows what they're doing here. The only thing to note is at the very end, the German cuddle skip, really. So I'm gonna go there. While grabbing as many boxes as I can. Possibly all of them. So yeah, that's kind of a tough strat, but like, yeah. You cut your charge once here, optimally, and it's the second checkpoint. You don't cut it there, because you can grab those. Every time you cut a charge, it loses a second, as long as you do no walking. Like, as you, like, you just let go of the charge button and press it, like, instantly again. Okay, I got everything. Like, you lose exactly 1 second by doing that. If you do actual walking, like, let go of the charge and just, like, keep moving without charging. Yeah. So, I deliberately did that because I fucked it up and I want to talk about it. But yeah, you cut your charge once, so you lose 1 second. That is mandatory. If you want to go safe, you'd do it 3 times because you'd do it for those 2x2s as well. Anyway, here you want to low jump when you land here, because that's what happens when you high jump. There's a certain seam you want to go through. It's really precise, even to just get it, so that you actually go there and don't fucking get clipped into like the middle of the ceiling like I did there. But like getting the skip itself, that's fucking hard. So yeah, low jump through the seam, hold left throughout the entirety of that, and you just go. And there's a good chance you'll get it. Like, that was really good height, but there's some other variable I never quite figured out with this. Like, that was pretty much perfect height, so I'm not really sure. But, you know, whatever. Let me just do it again, just to show. Low jump, hold left, jump, hold X on the jump as usual. Yeah, as I said, it's not highly consistent. It's got something weird about it that makes it not work. It's gonna do the levels in a pseudo-random order. Like, this is a really important one. It's gonna be hard to explain while doing it fast, because, yeah, obviously I'm gonna be doing the 1 cycle now. The reason you want to do the 1 cycle is because the crystal is positioned like actual garbage at the end, so it loses a lot of time to go back for it, or slow down for it, either or. So anyway, you want this cycle if you, well, aren't a god. There's a god cycle where you work with like the latest possible cycle. Maybe you want to do that strat for that if you want to go fast. It's not necessary. Like, there are some things you can cut here and there. But, you know. But, I don't know. The note, do that shot. I missed it, but it's supposed to hit that top box there. Like, I saw Vanny doing this, like, last night, and he did not shoot there. There's a reason people shoot there. It's not just to fucking, like, you know, when they flame as Spyro, it's not to warm up your hands while you're doing fucking nothing. Like, no. That torpedo is supposed to hit something. Anyway, yeah, I made the cycle. Like, that's the cycle you're supposed to make. And you're supposed to be able to break all of those. I did not. Anyway, you shoot there, and you're supposed to break that too. I might redo that ending. I don't fucking know. I'm gonna grab masks too. Come on. Yeah, this is kind of going by fast, but what can I do? There's not much to note here. Like, just like look at the gameplay. Do the things that the gameplay is doing. Except right now, this is not something you'd ever do in a run. If this is something you're doing in a run, I would highly recommend you change that. the leeway you have for one cycle is a lot once you've learned the thing anyway. Like at first it's kind of tough, but yeah. Like I can understand first, like not going for it. Like waiting for a bit until you're comfortable with the game to be doing any of that shit. Anyway. You wanna just hold down here. Like you don't wanna go anywhere left or right. You just wanna immediately start holding down. And then you wanna trust your D-pad to not do that kind of garbage, which I can't trust mine, which is kind of a huge issue. But I'll be going back there. Meanwhile, I guess I could fucking talk shit about, I don't know, there's... Yeah, I could talk more about that fucking one torpedo shot that's actually important. That just looks like I'm just mashing for the sake of, you know, having something to do while I'm doing nothing. Like here, you want to keep shooting because that second torpedo is supposed to hit the top box there, which for some reason I've missed twice when I never miss it in runs. But, you know, whatever, there's nothing important here. So you can neutral spin there. If I fail this once, I could maybe show that. You can neutral spin there to get like below the boxes or below the mask box and then spin again. I'll waste my time and everyone else's that might watch. It's hard to make a tutorial like with live gameplay, and it's not even a tutorial, it's just like me talking like about nothing. Like, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. At least Orient went well. Like I showed how to do Orient. I talked about the important part of Orient. That was really good. Then I got here and I was like, yeah man. Yeah man. Anyway. That's not the way that it's done. It's like, do this, shoot, 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 shoot. And the reason you want that gun is because if you get a good charge, boost or whatever, you can take it all the way through that line of boxes. So you do want to charge through that box there, which I've seen Vanny not do that. Anyway, you can like, if you spin neutrally, you can get below the mask box and like just do what I just did, except the boxes are there. Also, you can do this. Let me actually demonstrate it without dying. You can actually do this. It's not something that's really important, but it's a good backup to have. So when you get electrocuted, you get weird controls. Anyway, hold down, right, boost, hold down. Yeah, it's very tough to pull off, but it's, you know, doable. Obviously, that's why it's done. Yeah, so how to fuck it now? I think that's that. I just want to get masks, yeah, masks out of here. Yeah, masks out of this garbage. There's nothing left to explain. I can just, you know. No, Jack, I am not ready for WrestleMania. I haven't watched any wrestling since I was like 11. That shit got boring fast. So yeah, nothing really. I mean, this thing, shoot, shoot, it hits the thing, you do this, and that's why it's fast. Spur always, I should note very early on, don't trust anything I say about strats. Make up your own. If they're faster, good job. So neutral spin, and you get through there very fast. It might not be always necessary. In fact, a lot of the time it won't be necessary to do that. But, you know. Sometimes you really do need to do that to make the cycle. Like, there is just like no other way. No, I'm not watching though. Anyway, 106 is actually a general time you should get for like a decent one cycle. So it's interesting that that's the specific time I got. Because yeah, a really, really optimal good one would be, I want to say 102. So Boom says that like a task could sub 1, like not a task, you know, but like really amazing movement with like optimal speed boosting and shit. Which I'll get it into speed boosts when I get to Deep Trouble, because they're not relevant in Under Pressure at all. Anyway, this level, fuck's sake, well, this is the time trial. You just do any percent movement and nobody cares because it's the most boring thing in anyone's lives. The way I usually do this is by not getting any time crates, so I can tell the time at the end. Like, I aim for a 45 no time crates. Of course, if I get any, I can just deduct the thing. Like here, I often do a spin slide off of that. God damn it. Yeah, that's like the general movement I have. Also, that's like a 46. Yeah, I'm doing the whole game. I'm just talking about the stuff here and there. Whatever might come to mind, whatever I might encounter. There's a bunch of levels that are fairly important to talk about. This is not necessarily one of them. I think anyone who's anyone has a good grasp on like what is being done here. But yeah, I wanna reiterate that thing about trusting nothing I say. If you see something that is faster and you're doing it, then keep doing that. So time everything, get a timer out, time all of your things if you're curious about them. It's the literal key to success in speedrunning. Like that's how you, like, time is the absolute. You can just show a timer to someone and be like, okay, this strat is faster, and it's like, okay, everyone do that strat. Whereas like sometimes you end up in situations where it's like, no, this is faster, no, this is faster, and then like you have 6 people doing different things because they all think it's faster. Get out a fucking timer. Time your shit. Anyway, this ending invincibility can be tough, and again, there's different things you can do based on who you are and what you like to do. I like to do my thing. Generally a good way to do this is like the invincibility ends in between these last 2 boxes, which I didn't make it here. Like it would end about here. So that last slide is basically like the only thing without invincibility. As I said, there's not much to talk about in that level anyway. I'm not gonna even grab items because I'm just gonna use 2 save files to cheat. This one save file for warp 1, 2, and 3, and then another for the rest of the game. So thankfully I don't need to care about getting shit. Anyway, there's not much to talk about here other than, well, this thing. Like, at the start, you gain movement. Let's see if I can get it first try, because I'm only gonna go for this once. There's something I wanna fucking bitch about. So as soon as you spawn, you might want to slide spin or slide jump. But you see where I am here? You go an inch further and you're inside the wall. So you might want to wait a second and then do the slide. There's no such thing as not doing the slide, because that's just giving up. Like, there is a safe method. Anyway, yeah, that's that. You want to hit all checkpoints, the dino doesn't hit them. The only thing that can kill checkpoints in this game is Crash himself. Like when you shoot them with a torpedo or a bazooka, they don't break. Also, every single big ledge, you want to do that off of them. Specifically, you want to slide until you hit that ground. You don't want to spin or do anything in between. You want to be sliding while you're in the air, all of the time. Anyway, the optimal thing for this invincibility is that it ends about as soon as you hit the bonus platform. So yeah, you want it to never end, basically. You want to end it yourself by sitting on that platform. Anyway, there's a important thing here. when you get yourself into this situation, you glitch high, you want to land here, and you can probably see why, because I'm in the air. It's very tough to imitate outside of like just doing it and I'm not killing myself. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to do body slamless or just double jump up here. That doesn't work in an actual run. This is a very tough strat, so it's not like you need this. And there are safe methods for it, but I don't recommend any of them. Like that's the safe method. Like, in a run, you just, like, glitch high, and you hope you get it. If you don't get it, you body slam. Like, there's nothing to lose. You might as well, like, understand this is here. You can go for it. That's about it, though. Beyond that, there's no real reason to think of this as, like, a thing you must have, because it's incredibly inconsistent. But as I said, like, that's as close as you'll get to, like, consistent method, like neutral glitch high up there. Anyway, again, I can't emphasize the fucking importance of these enough. You specifically don't want to do something like this. You see how much more distance you gain from doing this. I'm here, behind this skull in the background, compared to this. There is a massive difference. It's the difference of a whole slide. This is a big deal. Any big ledge, even small ledges, all the time, sliding is the thing you want to maximize in this game. It is the key to movement. It is the fastest way to move. It is faster than running shoes. Sliding literally goes faster than running shoes. The reason it's used for ILs, though, is because there's something at the end of every slide that isn't very fast. Yeah, and neutral slide jumps, like the jump, it retains the slide momentum for about 0.3 seconds. Like, it's not very long. It starts going very slow after that. So to alleviate that, you actually want to like zigzag at some point of the jump. But that's only if you really wanna, because it's not easy. Not easy to chain that together and make for good movement, you know? Anyway. As for slide spins, you just zigzag the whole goddamn thing, like, just go. And never do this. Like, short slides. You never want to shorten an inch of your slide. For either movement, but especially slide spins, because, yeah. Anyway, this strat is a thing. You're supposed to come from under here. I can't simulate it. I will go here, pretend it's a thing. Okay. Slide spin, slide jump. Oh, fuck me. Slide spin, glitch high, spin douse coming down. That's the strat. Very easy stuff. More of that. Cannot emphasize enough how fucking important that is. I am a dum-dum. Anyway, there's nothing to note in the rest of the level, honestly. Other than a really important thing. Fuck it, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna talk about it. Gem at the end of the level, as soon as it spawns, it will be given to you. You do not need to touch it. You can go to the end of the level, it will be given to you. Do not worry about it. The dino can hit the last few boxes for you and the gem will just drop on you while you're exiting the level. Very handy stuff. It's nonsensical, but it works. The reason I didn't touch upon making waves is because it doesn't matter. Making waves is done exactly as you think. The one cycle saves a little bit of time. It's like a second, maybe. Anyway, you never want to grab that mask there with invincibility. It loses time. Because of the animation you do at the start of every invincibility. It's not very fast. Okay. This would be the optimal distance for that invincibility. That's one thing to always note about invincibilities in this game. The optimal distance. Like, if you can nail that, then your movement is good. Like it's a very good way of being able to tell. Anyway, here, well, there's a really specific thing you can do. You land there and then you do a diagonal slide spin. It's not something that like always happens, obviously, but yeah. Anyway, you want to do that. Specifically that timing. NSJ into its spin, just sweep through, everything dies. It is very nice, fast stuff. Yeah, but I'm doing kind of a tutorial thing, kind of. Just talking about the game for like probably 3 hours. Strats here, very self-explanatory. Again, do your own thing. This thing, there are 2 variations, depending on what you like to do. At least speed-wise, like anyone can do the fucking thing where they jump on that and then hit this. Like, no, don't be a baby. There's no reason to be a baby. One I prefer to do is the thing where you bounce on this, the exclamation mark box, then this thing in the air, and then spin this coming down and land on that. You can see that in my attempts. There's a thing you don't see in my attempts anymore, and it's this strat. Because that's slightly slower due to how the thing works here. Like you body slam, then you bounce, so it would be optimal to land on this, bounce off of its spin, and you know, do the thing. It's very minimal time differences. But again, get out your timer. It is very important to know how much time anything takes, because you don't want to end up doing slow strats that are like potentially harder than the actually fast strats. Yeah, the end of this level has nothing. Neither does the time trial, though, to be honest. Like, I won't touch upon the time trials too much. There's nothing to really note about most of them, so it might not take me like 3 hours to go through this. There are some that I will obviously talk about, like vehicle levels most. Anyway, I don't really talk about routing, but that's because I assume you know how to route. The way I do routing here is if I exit with 2 masks, I go into 7. If I exit with 1 mask, I go into midnight run. If I exit with no masks, I do the time trial. Like, the routing in this game is adaptive in a way. Like, you kind of have to pay attention to your masks. Anyway, one thing to note here, people don't really know. This is faster than this. You'd think this is fast, that's fucking slow. I can show you why when I talk about the yellow gem early later on. Anyway, you wanna jump up here when this guy is doing his thing. You can get up there with a glitch high. It's like a good way to get past him. There's a lesser used way where you like low jump and you have the 2 boxes here, you low jump here, and you like NSJ over. It's something I came up with that nobody uses, including myself. Like, I prefer that. I don't think it's even faster or matters. Movement-wise in this level, there's an important thing to note, where you can spin slide off the carpets. This is quick, because the carpet bounces are fucking slow. Anyway, this invincibility. This is an important invincibility, so I'm gonna do it properly to show you. This is one of those invincibilities you want to get into your muscle memory really, really, really well. Like, you want to be able to do this with your fucking eyes closed. Spin the crystal coming down, NSJ. There's nothing important in Warp 1 boot time. It's good. Anyway, these are strats that I engineered, so I'm proud of that fact. I'm proud of the fact that I just got rid of the thing that makes the strat possible, but I can simulate it, I guess, with cheating jumps. You're supposed to slide spin off the platform, so, you know what, fuck it, I can't just fucking, anyway, you do that, basically. No, there you go. This isn't even something I need to talk about, go watch my run. Watch my fucking run. No. When you get here, you want to do a short slide spin, which goes against everything you know, but what can you do? no zigzag, because you want this as the result. And then you just bounce off of it, spin jump. That is the fastest method for that, more or less. And this is another kind of tricky one. You want to land on the left side of this box, and then just essentially do that. Whatever comes as the result of that, like, do you get a spin slide off of it? Like, do you just drop? It doesn't really matter. It's, again, the fastest way to do it, so, you know, just do it, I guess. Anyway, now that, like, I didn't have the crystal here before, but I'm assuming you have the crystal grabbed, because this allows you to do this. And with that, since the crystal is around here, if you just, like, diagonal glitch high with zigzag over there, like, it's obviously gonna miss the crystal. I'm really bad at those, because they're not used in the run, are they? You can bounce on these guys instead of spinning, because they're, well, they're not level with you, they're actually lower than you. Yeah. You just want to diagonally glitch high to around here, and you want to zigzag forward to maximize that distance too. That's why you want to grab the crystal before the bonus, because it is significant enough as a time save. Let's do that again. You want to land on that with a spin. Not that this is super notable or anything, but you want to hole skip there a little bit with a slide. Now, this is basic stuff. Everyone knows how to do this with their fucking eyes closed and shit. You know. I'm gonna have to do some time trial to get my fucking masks back, but whatever, I guess. Hog ride has nothing to note other than learn to drive. You can learn that from just watching runs, watching time trials. If you really, really want to go fast, I would recommend watching like IL world records and shit. They're not very easy to find, but you know. TASes also work. Like, imitate as much as you can for those. And Midnight Run has a couple of things to note, maybe. First you have this fucking, well, whatever, you have this fucking thing where you can break all of that with a charge. It's not something that'll ever work consistently, but you can do it. Yeah, usually that happens to you. This is another one of those levels where usually you'd cut your charge once if you want to go fast. However, nobody does that in runs because it requires a dumb strat, which is not that one. That is consistent. Learn it. The reason I'm just kind of going fast is because I want a single mask. And there's a reason for this. Anyway, you can do this fucking strat, and you can make that. That's the shittiest thing. It is very tough to pull off. There's the cuddle skip. You just land on the right side of this guy and then you just jump. It's not easy to explain because it's like the easiest thing in the world to me, but like all I can do is like be like, oh man, you do the easiest things in the world and there you go, it's free. Like, no, it's not really like that. Anyway, that's not really the extent of Midnight Run, is it? I can go more in depth with some of these things. I just mainly wanted to get a mask and do cuddle skip, you know. But here's a save strat that most people would use for that. Just cut your charge there. As I mentioned in Orient, it does lose a second, so you know, do what you can. But there's the mandatory charge cut. Everything else in the level you can deal with by just charging. Here, you just want to keep holding left while you're on that, because it keeps you on the battlements, and you can keep running, and you just jump whenever you feel like it, and it is a lot easier than it might seem. And again here, as a safety thing, most people would cut their charge and bounce off into their goddamn death. And miss the box, because lol reasons. And here you can very easily do that without cutting your charge, it's not hard. I want to do a backup that nobody really ever uses. I'm gonna give it like 2 attempts or something, I don't really want to sit here forever. I'm gonna end up having to talk about GeoWiz time trial, because I need to go in there for fucking masks. Anyway, you can land there, you can survive, and this is how the cutoff skip was first found. You can get it without the damage boost. It would be optimal for any % nig to do it this way. However, you can tell how very consistent it is. As in, it isn't. Like, it's already difficult to survive this. Never mind actually getting it. I can't really talk about the specifics of the jump too much, because I don't really know, man. Because you just sort of do that, and it kind of works. To an extent. It is not a backup you should ever have to use, but if it ever comes to that, then, well, yeah, have fun resetting, I guess. Anyway, there is something to note here in the time trial, I guess. Because it's not exactly like Nig, is it? I'm just gonna put some filler here, essentially, because like there's nothing really here. There's just like, you can do a spin slide off of these like that. It's not a tough strat to pull off, but as far as things go, again, spin slide, that one is, I would say, mandatory for speed. Yeah, I guess I never specified, but this is for high level, obviously. Like, I'm not gonna fucking sit you down and talk about how to fucking do basic shit in the game, like, nah. Anyway, this invincibility is notable because it's a fuck. It actually has a lot of very tough movement in it to make a certain thing that I never make. Usually when I get here, had I NSJ'd, it would have popped that nitro. Avoid that if you want to keep the mask, because it will damage you. Such is life. But you kind of want to make the invincibility over that night. That'll happen precisely never, so have fun with that. Since this isn't a goddamn no item glitch tutorial, I'm not gonna bother with tomb time. Like, honestly, you can watch Saboom's Nig run, you can watch any 105 run for how to fucking do tomb time. It's just literally Nig, because you get nothing but the crystal in there. Now, I said I would talk about something here while I go for yellow gem early. Let's look at this. He's facing to the left, right? He's just turning away when I'm doing this, isn't he? Still facing slightly left because he was about to turn. Let's see here, though. Oh wow, I made it there like half a second earlier. Wow. This is important. Do not do shit strats. Use a timer. Or other variants of. Because you can also cheat, not use a timer. You can use things like respawns. Anyway, grab that fucking clock and let's go. Yellow Gem Earl isn't particularly tough. There's one thing to note. Time crates are fucking irrelevant. If you can do it first try every time, then like why are you grabbing time crates? Stop grabbing so many time crates. You could use a stopwatch, Jack, actually. But I would recommend W split or live split. Anyway, yeah. And now I get to show you why time crates are so goddamn irrelevant. Like, I didn't focus on getting any. I did not lose time on getting time crates. I got optimal movement and the platinum standard. Granted, I got two very inconsistent and quote-unquote rare boxes there. I got the last 1 second box and the 2 second box above the carpets at the end. You don't get those too often. But still, that would have been like, you know, a 44. Don't focus so much on the time crates. Focus on strong movement. Anyway, this warp is... Warp 1 is already a huge bitch to get through. Warp 2 just as much, because fucking Midnight Run and Hang'em High is a really tough level. This warp is where it really becomes oh so fun. Anyway, Dynamite is a fucking long level, so expect me to make 700 mistakes and point them out while I do them. This invincibility is a lot more important than you'd think, by the way. Copy my movements exactly, or do them better, I don't know, man. This is just how I do, how I deal. On that guy, there's not really an alternative. That's where you want it to end, around where you're sitting on the egg, more or less. And again, this is what I do. These are the boxes I leave behind. You can do different things. You can leave that checkpoint for later on the backtrack, so if you die in the yellow gem route, you don't lose as much time. This is good if you're not going for like world record tier shit, and a single death is a reset anyway, so it doesn't matter, you know? Anyway, here, you want to do these specific things. Them's and be the strats. You want to bounce on this because it's easy to get up here with a bounce. Here's something to note. This is a camera trick, actually. This fucking glitch high. Like... Do I have a bazooka? Of course I don't. Fuck it. It's weird, because your glitch high, it's not quite high enough. No, it's not a camera trick. Okay, I guess. I always felt like it was, because it feels much easier from here. I don't know. It's one of those things where the glitch high just makes no goddamn sense. It's got varying heights. But hey, I sat down and learned it's not a camera trick. See? Even I'm full of shit. Don't trust anything I say. But yeah, that glitch high, if you want to trust it, then trust it. I do it every time. Like, you could, like, fail it. Can I fail it? Can I fail it so I can do the fucking thing? Well, let's do a low glitch high and show off. Like, you can do that as a backup if you're reactive enough, which I never am. But, like, you could just opt out, but... At this point, since we're in Warp 3 and they're relevant, it would be good to note. Every double jump is a time loss. Cut that shit out, they're useless. Backtrack is what it is, everyone knows how to do the backtrack. If you hit this checkpoint, you go off to the right and hit it now. Obviously, you don't want to leave anything behind. This is your last pass through everything. I use that box actually as a visual cue for when this fire pit or lava pit is coming, so I think that would be important to note. At least I used to use it as one when I was learning the game. Now it's just sort of stuck. Anyway, just like with any gem platform, since at this point they're starting to show up, and I didn't talk about them with bonuses, any platform in the game is something you can stick to with an NSJ as such. it is super easy. Every single platform that is in the air you want to NSJ onto. It saves a hell of a lot of time when you add up all the platforms in the game and consider how much time was just saved. Anyway, this jump, you just sort of go diagonally. Fuck off and die. Go diagonally-ish. Fucking... Oh yeah, I'm here now. See? I'm not reactive enough for shit. Like, I guess I could do... Also, here's to show off the glitch. You can't get out of there without the box. Like, I could do that every time, but it's like, why? So I'm actually gonna have to do something. I need the masks to show off some strats. And I'll just kill myself on the dino. Like, I kind of have to do this. Since the TNT strats in the yellow gym actually require explanation and masks. This does give a mask, right? It doesn't give a mask. What a shitter. I'm gonna do the whole thing again because for the sake of hot cocoa, I'm gonna actually need all the things out of that level. Because that goes into my explanation on cycle manipulation for hot cocoa, or how I personally like to do it anyway. So fuck me, I guess. Cut this part out, haha. Live stream, can't fucking do that, can we? Jesus Christ. God damn it. At least I can show everything again. Yay, it's not like I did it perfectly on the first pass. God fucking damn it. But yeah, you still do this. It hasn't changed since the last 5 minutes. New strats have not been found. Fucking... At the very least you want the invincibility to end there, because otherwise you're taking damage from that fucker, and that's not fun. So you could go on the left here, doesn't really matter. Just do whatever movement you like. This time I will leave that checkpoint there, because that actually gives you fucking pity masks. So in case I need that. Oh yeah, zigzag the shit out of the dino. Also do diagonals like that. They're important, they do stuff. They go fast. Also, I didn't really mention, this is good, I didn't mention, I leave the bonus behind, because if you die in the bonus, if you happen to die, I don't particularly like resetting at that point. So I'm just like, I'll just do it again. But then you lose masks if you do it on the first pass, so I like to do it later. Anyway, I guess we're keeping up the fucking trend of losing fucking masks. As I talked about that jump earlier, I'm not sure if I mentioned, it's fucking inconsistent and dumb, and yeah, that's about it. But I still go for it because, well, as I said about double jumps, cut that shit out. They are not useful for you. Once I get the tornado spinning, I will explain to you why double jumps are not useful. Also, land on the dino last time. You never want to do that. You do want to skip the dino. Like, you want to only get on him once in the level. Anyway, now I get to talk about this jump and, you know, more about cutting the shit out of the fucking double jumps. Don't do them. This jump is very tough. I used to do it on the left side because it's slightly less so, because you can just zigzag a slide like hell and just, you can fucking go straight. But then you have to detour all the way left and do really shitty movement, and that would happen to me all the time, whereas on the left it does not. No, Boom Fan, I do not. You mean in general at the start? Then probably, but for the jump, no. I just zigzag the end. Because, as I mentioned much earlier about NSJs, the J part of it is not very fast, so you want to zigzag the end. Especially for big jumps like that. Do I want 2 masks? I don't think I'll need 2 masks, I think I'll be good. Like in general here, because it lags like hell. I might get some distance, but everyone does. Like this part, like this is fucking, the frame rate isn't very great, but yeah. I sort of do a diagonal-ish and then I just zigzag. It's very tough, I will understand anyone that just double jumps over. This requires mentioning, this TNT on the floor here, never ever land on it, ever. Ever, because this is where I explain TNT mechanics. So TNTs blow up things that they're programmed to blow up, right? It doesn't particularly check for what it's blowing up, it just removes boxes when they're off screen. Like if I go here, the boxes here will have deloaded and no longer exist, and the TNT is like, okay, what do I remove? The left one, since that will deload first, will take out precisely nothing. It won't be able to break the body slam box because the body slam box is still existent and the game still classifies it as a thing that cannot be broken by an explosion. However, the top one is on the same plane as the body slam box. This wouldn't necessarily always work, but here it does because of how the order of operations goes, as might call it. The body slam box actually deloads before the top box for some fucking inane reason. So thanks to that, you can do this. And I'm here. You can see there are exactly as many boxes as I need. Now, one might ask why I don't do it here. Well, because it doesn't work. Because here the TNT deloads before the body slam box. I imagine that's because of the height. The one is on top of the TNT, whereas here the TNT is on top. And even then, you want to do this. That is the fast strat. That is why you save up a mask for this. And now I checkpointed so I can't show you fucking any of the backups, but it doesn't really matter. When the TNT is on the floor, you can glitch high it. Like you body slam to break the 3 under, and then you glitch high the TNT and you body slam the top box. Like that is entirely safe, and that's the backup. And yeah, Boom Fan, no, I don't. So here you want to check you have 74 boxes if you did leave the bonus behind. If not, you'd have 99. That's one of those important box counts. Yeah, this bonus doesn't have anything worth mentioning. Again, just do whatever feels fast to you. Use a timer, check what's fast. Don't do what feels fast, do what is fast. Yeah, everyone knows how to do that bonus. It's one of the easiest in the game, arguably. And again, keeping up with the theme of maximizing slides, again, high ledge, don't spin until you hit the ground. You can also NSJ out of that, like you can do a neutral jump at the end. I prefer not to, but you do you. Like you can do this. It's not as tough as it might seem. It is a few frames, but it is not that tough. You're a speedrunner, you can figure this shit out. Anyway, after this death, you gotta haul ass. There is a cycle we're trying to make. At the very least in Eggipus, but I moved that all the way to Hot Cocoa, so yeah. So this is Aegipus with the respawn cycle from Dynamite. This is Aegipus with the backup cycle where you die in Aegipus. Watch my runs for the real deal, because fuck's sake. Well, this is more useful for people, I feel, actually, because they can see me do this with fucking 37s in runs all the goddamn time, right? This is fresh. This is something you see very rarely. But you ever die in Aegipus? This is what you do. You want to make that cycle. That's the first check, if you will. So the jumps here is like, you jump constantly there. You don't stop for anything. And that's your second check. Can you make that jump? If you can, then you might be on pace for something special. God fucking damn it. It dropped my jump like twice. But yeah, I wanted to damage myself on that fucking pterodactyl. And yeah, let's do that again. Our first check, being able to make that. Now, I want to note that, yeah, this does require quite a bit of zigzag. This isn't easy. Like, obviously. Like, this fucking jump, yeah, have fun with that. So I would compare it in difficulty to, like, the Road to Ruin jump in Crash 2. Anyway, damage here, glitch high up, slight spin. 38! That's your death abuse backup, like respawn cycle nonsense, yeah. No, I don't necessarily need, you know, all the things for hot cocoa. I can do it without. In my runs, you can see me do it slightly differently with a slightly different cycle, but I think I can work with this. There's not much to note about hot cocoa anyway, so it's fine. But just one thing to note here, obviously, I use the Dynamite Death Abuse to set up cycles, because as most people at this point would know, cycles will be determined by deaths, because a death will reset the global cycle timer. Which affects most cycles in the game. Most importantly, wave cycles. Oh yeah, and again with Road Crash, I'm not gonna talk about it much. It's just like drive better, you know. Look at Saboom, he drives a lot better than I do. So you grab the clock and off you go. Now here you want to go to the right. We used to go to the left for some reason, or at least a lot of people did. I don't know why. Never go to the left, it's dumb. It's fucking slow. Now, that wave under me right now would be something that fucks you over. Well, so did that wave. There are multiple waves that can fuck you over. I could do the respawn cycle here as well, because I know that one, and I could talk about what is and isn't good. I don't know. Like, I feel like this could help me explain shit, because I'm improvising as I go right now. It goes to show that I know what I'm doing for the most part. It's just that the wave under that ramp was kind of invisible. It kind of came out of nowhere, so I couldn't really react to it too well. But, you know, that happens occasionally. Anyway, so far there's just a bunch of nothing. Like, this is where the real fun begins. You see that wave there? And the incoming wave right there. That was deliberate. This time I saw it. You want to slow down for those. This is only important in Ski Craze than here, I feel. And one thing in Tell No Tales. Also, that wave that just went under me, it's a real shitter. So you want to wait for basically that wave for that, and then you just want to go for that. And again, there's a wave behind me, but that's fine because it's behind me. Here, waves don't really affect this ramp, so that's fine. Same here, there are no waves for this, for some odd reason. Not ones that throw you over anyway. This ramp is a goddamn shitter. You see that wave under it right now? That's the shitter wave. Basically, for like any jet ski level, you just want to have a good eye for the waves and judgment. Like, these levels aren't even about speed, I feel. It's like all about your judgment. And that's why I consistently get like sub 40s these days in Hot Cocoa. Yeah. Here, that wave is really the only one that can fuck you over. Like, it's one of those ramps where waves don't do much to it. Anyway, here's the wave jump. You would never do this on NTSC, because it's unnecessary. On PAL this is a lot easier, but like there isn't like the cycles don't line up quite like this. I'm gonna go over it like 2 more times. I'm not gonna sit here until I get it. Nobody cares about NTSC wave jump, but it's good to note. See, that's the wave jump. You can make that over. On PAL it is fucking free. So on the version where it's actually relevant, people are like, no, this is a task strat. Why would I do a task strat? Go for it one more time. Yeah, on PAL you just have to sit and wait because the waves are slightly slower. Yeah, I'm not getting it. You can do that on NTSCJ, however, which is another version where it's like, why would you run this? But, you know. Okay, boom, shut the fuck up. I fired up PAL on an emulator and it took me 3 tries. What the fuck? Of course it's free. But yeah, after Hot Cocoa, I tend to do Road Crash in its entirety. Road Crash is one of those notable levels where on the time trial, everything turns into a time crate. So you don't really want to clear out the boxes on the first pass, which everyone knows that. There's no real benefit to doing that. If you're gonna miss a box, then it's shitty either way. How does wave jump help? On the PAL version, the time trial gold time is set as 30 seconds. Ah, there's a trigger where you can get rid of the fucking leaderboards and shit. Anyway, yeah, you can't really make 30 seconds on PAL. A task probably could, but I cannot. At best I've got like 34 on NTSC. That's my thing. Anyway, I would complete Road Crash in its entirety and then do this time trial for masks. Which I will. Jesus Christ, Boomfan, it's fucking free. Like, sit down for 15 minutes and learn it, and there you go. PAL wave jump is free. Okay. Very not notable time trial. It's essentially like NIG movement, because in NIG these days you damage boost in midnight run so you don't get a mask here. Or you don't get an invincibility here rather. And again, just zigzag the hell out of the dino, as we did in Equipus, as we did in the first pass of Dynamite. It is the key to success on any movement that isn't just your normal slides, and even then, your slides, you want to zigzag those. Otherwise, fun. Hey, I wonder if you could do that. You could MSJ into that lava pool and whatever. Anyway, the only notable thing here is like this strat, which only Saboom and I do. I think Atazi picked it up and Kojiro. But like 105 wise, it's only Saboom and I. I'm not sure actually. Zoe picks up like most things I do, so she could be doing it, but she never streams, so of course I'm not gonna sit down for 2 hours to watch every single run she does. Also, since Vanny copies a lot of shit, he could have picked that up as well. Though last time I saw him go through, he just did shit jumps. But yeah, it's not a very hard strat. I would recommend anyone would do it. It's one of those things. The body slam screen shake carried over the fucking double header. Amazing. So here you want to break all nitros. I don't care who you are and what you're doing. I want you to break all the nitros. Fuck. Oh yeah, this is a thing to note for practice. If you ever need masks out of a thing after dying, find a way to get 2 masks. Because the levels remember the state you were in when you entered. Unlike Twok, which I think just gives you any masks you have at the time. If you enter with 2 masks and leave with none, obviously get none. But if you leave with 2, even if you lost your masks at some point, you will have 2 upon leaving. Anyway, break the goddamn nitros. I don't care about your excuse. Break the fucking nitros. Good checkpoint. I didn't get it, but whatever. It's a demonstration of nothing. Optimally, your invincibility ends here, so you just NSJ here. You die to that, apparently. You don't want to die to it, you want to spin the boxes under. Which makes the TNT drop, and here you want 34 boxes. You know, excluding that checkpoint I fucking blatantly ignored. You can snipe the frog like this into the nitros. Optimally, you'd do that, but like, that doesn't happen obviously all the time. So you wanna bounce on the middle one because it breaks the one behind it. And then you bounce on this one. You can also damage boost since you do have 2 masks. But if you don't have 2 masks, then yeah, don't fucking know. So here, again, just do whatever. I figured these were optimal. Fuck me in the ass. That happens. Yeah, don't kill yourself. It's not the end of the world. But for me, it is the end of the world. So personally, I spin slide up there, do a glitch high here, out of a double jump. Do that, you do this. Get up here, spin slide, huge spin slide, the biggest in the game, I believe. And then you do that. One thing to note, if you don't wait for them to blow up, they will not count towards your box total in the bonus. They just get added instantly to the total. So if you die between the end of the bonus and the next checkpoint, you will lose those boxes. So note that. Also, if you break the TNTs and the bouncy box and you get here and it's like, what do I do now? You do this. You fucking slide jump or crouch jump and glitch high out of it. Because even with double jumps, the glitch high retains the property of making it possible to body slam out of it. And other than the bazooka, that is the only way to break that box without just bouncing up there. Hello, thank you. And here you just want to do a huge spin slide here. And if you don't have masks, you can do that. I often do, but of course I will understand anyone that has an issue with nitro jumps without masks. And the reason you wanted to break all those nitros, if we had that checkpoint, there'd be a gem here. Because this detonator is now useless, and you can see how long it takes to fucking pop a detonator. Like, not only that, you have to go all the way right, and then fucking grab the gem and kill yourself. So I'm gonna do the time trial, actually. This is kind of a shitty time trial. You have to do specific things in order to not get fucked by lag. Because as most people know, the frame rate in this level is garbage. I personally love doing this strat. I'm not sure if it's fast, but it's cool. Anyway, NSJ up to this guy, spin slide, or slide spin, or whatever. It's not a spin slide, because you don't spin anywhere before the slide, but yeah. Do that to that guy. If you go on the left of him, there's actually a lag spike that might prevent you from being able to actually jump, so that's why I just go straight at him and slide off of him. Also because it's fast. And again here, left side for some reason is a laggy place, so I avoid it. You want that invincibility to hit that giant, and that's your optimal distance. Any idea what causes the game being bad at everything? Anyway, one thing to note, optimally you would leave doubleheader with a single mask, and the reason for this is because you would want to do deep trouble. Why is this? Because 1 cycles. If you do deep trouble first pass and second pass back to back, you'll have shit cycles on the electrical plates. I don't want that personally. Whatever you might want is up to you, but I don't want that shit. So I do doubleheader first. I try to leave with 1 mask. I go into deep trouble with it, because you only need 1 mask entering it. Then I leave like the time trial for after end trophy. Then I go back in here and do the time trial, 2 masks, high time. And the reason I'm skipping deep trouble right now is because it needs a whole section of its fucking own. Anyway, you see this being low? Can't make it. Yeah, you can. That is my own personal touch. That's that. It is very nice if you know how to do it. If you know how to do it. Anyway, there are actually things here people might not think about. I haven't timed the things, but you can do this. This is something everyone should know. If you land on a certain type of thing, you will not bounce. Like, if you land on a box formation like this, you will not bounce, for 1. For 2, if you land on the very edge of a box, you will not bounce. But there's a thing where, like, everyone knows, you land here, you slide spin through. But I was wondering, like, I've always been wondering if you can just, like, do that single slide spin through. I don't know about the time of that. I haven't timed it because I'm lazy. And I'm not gonna sit here and time it, because I'm lazy. I imagine it's roughly equal. Here, there's 2 things you can do. You can NSJ like this, requires a little bit of zigzag. Or does it? Yeah, it does. Whether it's at the start or at the end. Yeah, because if you don't do it, then have fun falling short. I personally do a glitch high because I'm a bitch. Not really, I prefer it, I guess. Like, I can do either one. Like, obviously, it doesn't fucking matter to me. It's just, I like doing the glitch high. Because it doesn't really matter which one you get. Like, as long as you just land up here, because then you immediately go into a slide, and then you break that, you glitch high up here, you double jump under those, you do this. Which, yeah, it's a little too technical to just gloss over, isn't it? Zeppelin would do it in this manner. He would double jump up here. This is unnecessary. NSJ with a high jump. While holding X, obviously. That is how you high jump. And then you just... One thing to always note about the spin in this game is that it makes it into Crash 2 momentum rather than the Crash 3 momentum, where I'm gonna let go of everything in the air and I'm still going. Why am I still going? This is garbage. Whereas when you're spinning, wow, it's Crash 2 momentum, where I can actually control myself in the air. I don't know, just like fuck around with that, see what you can work with it. I don't know, fucking learn it. Don't be a baby. I'll talk more about the fucking momentum shit in Tomb Raider where it's actually super relevant. But yeah, this invincibility is really important. You wanna glitch high up here, you wanna not get shit carpet cycles like that. You don't want a body slam here. You want to spin here before you get there, because otherwise they take a second to pop. You want the invincibility to end, well, around when you're on this carpet, actually. But yeah, the end of the level has nothing, really. Which is why I left, because I want to talk about this thing. Probably the most important thing that gets ignored. Because the other levels, it's like everyone knows how to at least ballpark, like, how to optimize crash movement. But underwater levels, it's like, how do you even? And people don't even really take the moment to think about it. So I'm gonna take a moment to think about it. So the reason you want to do high time last is because you want to end Warp 3 with 2 masks. Anyway. We've got this now, right? This is what we're working with. This is our cycle. And since I've done this, I get to show you the backup, actually. If you take a moment to break those, don't bother trying to go fast. Don't damage boost on anything, just take a leisurely stroll over to the end of the level. Because your god cycle is gone already. And so is that box. We will never see that again. Damn it. Well, it doesn't matter. I only need 1 mask. I'm not gonna do the damage boosts. I'm, like, just gonna talk about where they are. Because this is why you don't wanna, like, bother going fast, because that cycle is important. Anyway, this part of the level has a god cycle of its own once you enter it. Damn it. Yeah, that hit. But yeah, I've definitely missed the god cycle. I've definitely missed everything now. Thankfully, I'm gonna be doing 2 passes of this level, so this is really irrelevant. It was really important to just show that, like, you don't want a damage boost before, like, the ending. Like, you want to keep both masks for this section. If you take more than 1 spin on that, like, very first tough box formation. It is not easy to spin with a single spin, but, like, you'd spin through this nitro and just, like, damage boost through. Then you'd still have your 1 mask and you'd use it at the end for these thingies. That's what you would do as a backup. The actually fast thing, though. You actually want that outcome. You want 1 box on the left. So when that guy's down there, you don't want to even mess with him. Like, no. Never. Okay, again, let's see. If I fail to spin this correctly, I'm just gonna, like, fucking exit. There. So you want that single spin. And then you start hauling ass. Like, the entire level is about hauling ass now, because now we're on a very tight cycle. This isn't impossibly hard to pull off in general or anything, but it is tough. Now you might wonder why I only damage boosted once rather than twice. Wouldn't it save time? Well, god fucking damn it. You didn't see it, but this would be the cycle I'm on, like this specifically. So you can make that. So when you think about it, cycle-wise and movement-wise. Movement-wise, I went as fast as humanly possible, and I did not have to wait on that cycle. So why would I damage boost it twice when that would fuck with the cycle, right? And that's the general gist of this level. That cycle. It's a fairly long stretch of gameplay, and you want to make that thing. I did the correct movement. It's just at the end, apparently you can get stuck on the fucking pipe like that, because, yeah, lol. Apparently that's a thing. But yeah, if you get here fast enough, this is the cycle you'll be working with, and you can slip by. It is not that hard. Also, this TNT, I guess I could note that, like, it's the easiest thing in the world, and if you're not doing it, then, well, learn it. Seriously, it is very, very easy. There's even an easy method for it. There's a method one would maybe call literally free, perhaps. It's that method. You can already see why I don't prefer it. Basically, you just give the box a little kiss, and then you hold left and spin. Like, there is basically nothing here to fail if you do it this way. I prefer to do it the other way because, well, I prefer to do it the other way. But, like, there's nothing to fail with that. Like, if you know how to play a video game, like, you honestly should not be failing that, and you should not be afraid of it. A really key thing in these games, I feel, is confidence, actually. Like, there's a lot of people that have, like, decent movement, but they don't utilize it for fucking shit. Because they're not confident in anything they're doing. Usually this is easily attributed to lack of practice, but, you know. Like, you don't see, like, good people necessarily doing stuff like that. Because they're not confident in it. They have no masks, so they're gonna wait on it. Why? They're not confident for some goddamn stupid reason. Whereas, like me, anytime I have no mask, I'm still, like, just as confident as with masks. Because I'm not gonna do dumb shit like that ever in a run. Like, be like, nerves got to me. Like, no, I'm still just gonna be like, okay, business as usual. And even then, I don't do that strat. That strat makes it free. That strat makes it so, like, without, like, someone without a single brain cell could do that. Like, you just go there, you just hold left and spin. I do the harder variation because I prefer to do the harder variation. I'm pretty sure, like, they're equal speeds. It doesn't really matter. Now, there are a couple of things in that worth to still look at. I said I would talk about speed boosts in Deep Trouble. Then why did I not talk about them? Because they're not relevant yet. I did get one on the TNT at the end there, so that's actually what a speed boost looks like. Actually, let me pop into entropy for a second first. This is why you want two masks in here. This is why you do high time last, and why you want the two masks from it in here. The first phase you do your usual nothing. There's nothing of actual importance happening here. But on the second phase, magic will happen. Get here, jump spin, stand here for a moment. He can't see you, therefore he can't kill you. That damage boost saves apparently 2 seconds. It's probably fucking important. I can tell that it saves time, just not fucking 2 seconds. Anyway, you just take damage on the last one and then you just, like, return to your position in here. Like, yeah, it looks scary to jump for these blindly, but, like, I never even practiced these, and I have not, like, I've not died once on, like, that backwards jump. I don't know if that's just, like, the natural acquired skill from playing the game so long, or if that's, like, actually easy. Like, either way, that's important to note for high-level strats. Like, that's something you'll be doing if you want to save time. Anyway, the reason I said Speed boosts were important in the time trial will be clear in about 3 seconds. Ignore that mask, it does nothing. I got it for no reason at all. Like, it literally does nothing because there's a mask down here. There's like 16 masks in this level. Don't do that to me. So you wanna hit the edge of a box like this with a spin, and it might give you a slight speed boost. Like, you'll see it. You'll fucking know it when you see it. And the reason for that is if you're doing baby strats and you feel like you should be doing baby strats while making the level harder on yourself, then yeah, that's good for you. This is my personal choice to be such an idiot, but yeah, if you get speed boosts you can make that. Even without, you can. Speed boosts make it good. And that would be the gist of Deep Trouble. For baby strats anyway. God fucking damn it. Of course everyone knows there's an obvious way to circumvent the baby strats. Yeah, that's basically the timing. Like, I attempt a speed boost on like 4 boxes or something. Like, basically as many times as viable. But yeah, as I said, this is like the baby strats where you don't do an extra damage boost on that thing that I just don't do an extra damage boost on. And then you could potentially make that. Now, however, if you are confident in your observation of pufferfish cycles, which I fucking am not, there is an alternative where you don't have to care about fucking dumb things like speed boosts. And this would be something that like everyone would probably be aware of. Like, yes, you can just go through that. Not a big deal. Due to how the top here works, you would get here very early, and due to how this works, you can just do that. Easy stuff. And here you want to just line yourself up. Everyone knows how to do this. It's not nearly as precise as one might think. Yeah, I don't do that in runs because I don't trust myself to be able to look at the pufferfish cycles and be able to actually tell where they are. That's my own personal issue. I would recommend for you to actually learn these things. I'm just a lazy fuck, and I refuse to learn anything. Okay, there's a couple of things of note in this one cycle. So, first of all, don't double jump up here. It's pointless. It does actually nothing. Like, you just hold X and you go up there. Like, it's very easy. Here you do your usual thing. You land on this, you go up here. This isn't something everyone knows how to do, but you know, it's self-explanatory, more or less. Now, I'm on a weird cycle, so I don't get to really talk about like the actual way of doing this, but I'm probably gonna end up waiting, and yeah, let me think here for a second. Yeah, I think this cycle is gonna be questionable. So, this guy, you can do this with him. This is why you want to do high time trial after entropy. Because that is actually really big time save. And hopefully I can show you why it's actually really big time save. So you can do it in conjunction with the other hangrail skip. You kind of have to be on fucking point for it though. God fucking damn it. Wrong way slide. Gotta give it a few more attempts. If I don't get it, then just watch like the thing on my YouTube, I guess. It shows you how the cycles work together to actually make it into a thing that's possible and saves a lot of time. God fucking damn it. Why are you stopping? Oh, right, yeah. As everyone who's been up there would know, it's full of spots that get you stuck randomly. The one in the death route is 10 times worse in that regard as well, which is not great. But yeah, you know. What can you do, I guess? So there is this as a backup. This is a camera trick. By that I mean, look at this height. Compare it to this height. That is a camera trick. That is the game being unable to tell what is like the proper height. Cause fuck you. And that's why that backup even works. And that's why that's the strat on POW. Because it's super easy. I'm gonna try one more time, and if I don't get it, I'm just gonna, you know, fuck. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, fuck. But the thing is just like the fucking speed required to be able to make this like in the optimal manner. It's fucking dumb. Because, like, you basically can't even get stopped by the fucking nonsense scenery up there in order to make this cycle. Like, in the, I guess, ideal way. But yeah, I guess the gist of it is just, like, if you can make everything with perfect movement, then you'll be on this cycle, actually. More or less. And then you do this. Again, yeah, as I said, it's much easier to get stuck up there. I'll try one more, and if that doesn't work, I'm just gonna leave and move on to warp 4. Actually, no, warp 1 and warp 2 revisits, because I'm kind of doing everything in kind of order. Yeah, that's not gonna, yeah. Fuck it. Doesn't matter to me. So I personally, after, you know, clearing out warp 3, would go into warp fucking 1 first. Like, my save file has 1/37 saved as the fucking time. So here I would highly suggest you put that bazooka away and learn how to do movement. Now, I'm just gonna do like a random attempt at the one cycle to show you why you should put that fucking bazooka away. Because, like, let's say this is like my average attempt at this, which obviously it's going to be just my average attempt at this. So I'm just throwing this on and seeing what I get. Of course, this doesn't apply to everyone. Not everyone is capable of this movement, but the gist of it should be, you know, it's still the same point. Like, the point I'll eventually be getting at is look at how much time you can fucking lose here and still fucking make it without the bazooka. And once again, this is the movement I personally do. Don't copy it, Don't just fucking copy and paste. Think about what is and isn't fast here. If you see something that isn't fast, then don't do it. But also recognize that the things I do have a reason. It might just be that the reason doesn't apply to you. And there are very occasional things where I legitimately do them because I wanna. Not because it's fast, not because anything. I wanna. So that's my average attempt, 131-ish. Something like that. The gold is a 140. The bazooka saves a second. Or maybe it saves us like 2 seconds on the clock. And you can already see why this would be the slowest thing in the world. I don't know how much it saves on the clock because I never did it. I immediately recognized how fucking inane it would be to even consider this as a thing. Like, as always with like my style of doing things, like, let's first of all consider how we go faster here. Then we can consider whether it's worth to use the bazooka. I did this with tomb time, a thing that people thought had like half a second or something of leeway, and it has 5 now. 33. I've made 33s without bazooka, what the fuck? So, of course, one thing to note about my movement is the amount of zigzag being done being very high. It's the notable thing about my movement compared to some of other people's movement. Like, it's the one thing Saboom noted after taking a look at it. Like, I just zigzag the fucking shit out of everything. Like, I'm not doing anything magical to go faster than everyone else. I just zigzag everything a lot. So as you can see, the difference between bazooka and bazooka-less isn't particularly high. It's a couple of seconds. I would say it's not worth it at all. The bazooka, just throw it away. Like, just learn the movement. I just did a bit of it, you could probably get the gist of that, but I know this is a good point to fucking note it an hour and 30 minutes into the thing. I would suggest thinking of how to do your things your own way, rather than just copy and pasting. I think I kind of touched upon that a bit earlier, but not really. Yeah, good tutorial, figure your shit out on your own, end of tutorial. No. So yeah, button glitch, you can do that to do a thing. And as you can see, I'm consistent at it. You shouldn't be, especially if you think, oh, I need this to be consistent. If your thinking is like this, that like, oh, I need button glitch to be consistent, do not do tomb time 1 cycle. If it's something you're reliant on, then no. Fucking no. I can understand going for it in a run and be like, ah, dang, now I don't get to do it because I didn't get it. Because, like, that's something I would recommend to, like, a really bad, like, not really bad, but, like, an opening sort of level runner. Like, a basic, I don't know how to move about this video game kind of runner. Someone that might get a 120 or something through tomb time 1 cycle. Like, not a complete beginner, but someone with, like, a vague grasp on movement. Those people, I would understand, like, yeah, you want to do button glitch and only then do tomb time 1 cycle, yeah, that's fair. But if you're insisting on doing tomb time 1 cycle, if you're even slightly reliant on it, the button glitch that is, don't. Fucking don't. Anyway, I was just talking over the bonus about fucking button glitch, but yeah. Spin timing, no, it's actually jump timing. You have to be spinning during the jump, but it's all about the jump timing. You have to jump on the frame you enter a level portal. Also works in Crash 2, but it doesn't do anything in Crash 2. Anyway, that's your maskless strat right there, pretty much. Let me do that again. But yeah, fucking... If you can't do button glitches tomb time, at least semi-consistently, don't fucking go for it. You wanna slide jump, land on that, and there you go. Like, it's very clean, very fast. Yeah, April Fools, here's a genuinely useful and informative tutorial. Yes! Haha, joke's on you, fuckers! Yes! Anyway, if you can't do this consistently, just don't bother trying to shove this into a run of yours. It won't help you in any way. If you just don't care, then by all means, shove it into a run. And as I said, you could be one of those people that's like, I'm gonna do this if I get button glitch. If not, I'll stick to the original methods. That's what I used to do when I had like a 220 or something. I never had a 220, but I had like a 217. And yeah, there's not much to note here. This is one of those things where I would definitely recommend you figure out your own strats and own movement for everything that's happening right now. I feel like that's the absolute best way to work with this. Like, figure out what works for you, but obviously with help from like other people. So I fucking didn't get a slide out, so that was nice. Like, don't just learn by copy pasting from the world record. Especially not the current world record, it does it like garbage. I get a 109.96, which is a frame away from fucking missing the one cycle. But yeah, I wouldn't go as far as to saying like, oh, if you can't do it this confidently, don't do tomb time in runs. Because like, I can just sit down, do a tutorial, and assume that an hour in, I will be able to do tomb time without fucking it up. Like, I have exceptional consistency with this, and that's just come from no life grinding. I wouldn't expect that from every runner, obviously. Oh yeah, hey Shadow Ginger, thanks for the host, doing a tutorial kind of thing, so yeah, I'm just gonna be talking a lot, but yeah. I wouldn't go as far as to say, like, if you're not this confident in it, don't do it, but I would recommend that you get your movement up to that kind of strength. Like, I could sit here and probably do it 5 more times and maybe fail, like, once or twice. Depending entirely on dropped inputs, but, like, that's just kind of a waste on the tutorials part, so let's not bother. And obviously there's a lot more to talk about for Tomb Time 1 cycle. But I just sort of relegated it to, like, yeah, learn your own shit and watch other people and learn from them, but figure out what works for you. Like, sure, the whole game boils down to that, and it's kind of dumb to gloss over the hardest thing in the game like that, but I feel like if you have even, like, remotely the skill to pull that off, you have the understanding to be able to work it out for yourself like that, you know? Because Tomb Time is one of those things where you can't make a proper tutorial for it. Like, it's just not a thing. Tomb Raider's gonna be fucking hard, because even I suck at this level. But this is one of those levels where I get to talk about the momentum, because it's really important. And the only thing where I work with just generic Crash 3 momentum is there. Like, the rest of the level, I use spins to manipulate it to be more like Crash 2. Anyway, bonus strats don't matter that much. Like, you're not really on a strict cycle here, so I do the safe thing, or what is safe for me. Also, don't fucking double jump there. That's one of those spots where you want to cut out that double jump because it's fucking useless. Also, if you're still skipping this checkpoint for after the bonus, then, well, I don't know what to say. It doesn't really matter too much, but it's like, don't. It's not that big of a deal. If you're dying in this level, then you just need more practice, honestly. Like, it's not like... Don't give up like that, ever. You don't want to think, oh, I can't do this thing, therefore I'll do the safe strats. Like, I know that's my own personal thing as myself as a speedrunner, so like I would always think, like, fuck the safe strat. If I can't do it the proper way, then why do it at all, you know? So that's some clever use of timing of tornado spins, actually. To toot my own goddamn horn there. I'm gonna wait for this water thing while I explain. You can time tornado spins specifically in the air to adjust your like falling momentum and whatnot. There are a lot of different things you can do with it. And at this point, since we have tornado spin, it would be good to know this is the most important tool in the entire game. Because for one, it prevents you from dying. For two, it extends your jumps, which ties into one, where it prevents you from dying. This is fucking important to get down for high level movement. Like, this is your tool that will set you apart from the other runners. Anyway, I was, you know, talking about momentum, and this is where it really comes into use. Because usually I have this cycle, and then I just do this. I tornado spin to the TNT, and yeah, it's Crash 2 momentum, so I don't just go over it. I stop where I want to stop. Can you imagine such a concept? I can't, because the game is made of shit. But that's another thing about the tornado spin that's really good. It can be used as momentum control. In general, as a thing in the air. Like, you can just, if you, I don't know, for example, if you get an accidental like diagonal, you can just tornado spin and just like save it and just keep going left if you're trying to go straight or something like that. You can also, just like with a normal spin, you can neutral spin in the air to just cut all momentum. This is kind of an advanced thing, but not really. Like, this is something a beginner should know, like your panic button, neutral spin. Your panic button shouldn't be this, and then you fall down a hole and die because your panic button was a double jump, you fucking retard. No. Your panic button is the spin button only. Double jumps work very shittily in this game. They cut all momentum, and there's one place in the game that is a very good place to show you why exactly double jumps may be the most irrel thing. Jake Z, that's the dog from Dog's Life. Of course. I'm gonna jump ahead for a bit. Not for the sake of talking about this level, that'll be later. I want to show you a thing about double jumps, a thing or two about double jumps. And I feel like the biggest gap in the game would be the best place to show you why exactly there may be an issue with double jumps. Actually, it's not as big as the gap in Sphinxinator, so I don't fucking know, man. But the green gem path, well, not the green gem path, but the green gem gap, rather, probably one of the best places to showcase double jumps and the problem with them. Okay, it should be like permanently open now. Anyway, let's do a double jump here. I didn't even fucking make it because I didn't zigzag the slide. Which is notable, by the way. You can make this without a double jump. Yeah, 8-Bit Beast knows. He knows some things about fucking fast movement. So he would know that the double jump is a detriment to fast movement. Because let's just do this. You see how I make it with the double jump? You see how I can make it without the double jump? Do you see how I can just ignore the fact that the double jump was even there? This is probably the best way to line out like how fucking useless this tech is for anything other than gaining height. Like, height-wise, you're gonna have to do this a couple of times in the run, sure. But for saving yourself as a panic button in general, no. Your tornado spins are just as strong. Maybe slightly less so, but the point stands. It is not a very good idea to just fucking throw out a double jump when there is no use for a double jump. That's why after Warp 3, all your double jumps that are used for extra distance will now be replaced by spinning. So keep that in mind. I didn't really talk much about Tomb Raider, but it's kind of self-explanatory if you just like look at the video and the strats used in the thingy. Sphinxinator is probably the easiest level in the game, so there's not actually anything in here to talk about, which is sad, really. This is easier than Tomb Time. Even disregarding the one cycle, this is easier than Tomb Time. Disregarding those boxes even. I'm gonna just redo that just in case the invincibility time becomes important, which it really won't. So here's, you know, the other big gap in the game. This isn't nearly as good for pointing out the pointlessness of the double jump. Because with the green gem thing, you can make both, like just barely. Like with or without double jump. And that's really nice. Either way, point is, double jump makes a minimal difference. Don't use it. This corner cut is one of those places where people might use it, but again, it makes no difference. Don't use it. Basically, optimally, your invincibility ends on the checkpoint. Or around there. Anyway, this strat is specific, so follow along here. Never mind. Follow along now, though. 44. Thanks, I thought the animation had ended. I guess fucking not. You wanna be kind of far away from it and then spin it. And then you'll have 44 here, which is the amount for this time anyway. It depends on whether you've broken nitros or anything, so of course this isn't like an absolute thing, but yeah, this is basically the quickest way to reliably break them. For myself, there are obviously other strats, but this is the safe strat, believe it or not. That's the safe quick strat anyway. There's also the fucking spin slide, which I can't do, which is why I invented that strat in the first place. Like, that can break the TNTs. And I think it's very important to note that can is a very shitty term. So I would recommend you stick to that, because that's what I'm sticking to forever. There's also some insanity strats like this thing that nobody will ever use, and I'm highly skeptical of. I think in theory you could poke it with the beginning of a slide and then just go, go, go. I guess not for me, not today. Here's a pity mask. think it's the only pity mask in the game. Anyway, here's one of those things where you kind of have to double jump, so what can you do? And again, to note, double jumping is for height, not for distance. There's nothing wrong with doing them for height, like... Fucking, what do I even do here, actually? Oh yeah, I land on the top TNT, and I don't know. I used to double jump for something. I don't think I do anymore. I think I glitch low onto these, then do this. But I'm pretty sure there's like a strat where the double jump is fine. Anyway, here's the backup. It's not a very great strat. That would be the optimal strat. You just body slam onto the thing and mask is gone, everything is gone, but you got out of there fast. And it is faster than the actual backup, so there's no reason to actually go for the backup other than as a backup, which is nice. Also, spin bouncing with tornado spin can be kind of tough, but you just sort of go for this kind of bounce. You spin and bounce at the same time. We more or less refer to it as like a Kalebo style spin bounce, because, well, Kalebo did it for no reason in Crash 2, so we would constantly question, why the fuck are you making it harder for yourself? Just do it like everyone else. And he was just like, no. Guess what? It's how you do it in Crash 3, because you're working with an issue with the tornado spin. If you try to do it the normal way, like that, you fucking die. That's one issue. The other issue is that the tornado spins just make you all floaty. So you can't really deal with that too well. Because in Crash 2 you'd spin before you even land. So you'd end up with something like that. In Crash 2 I would have landed on the TNT and it would have been fine. But this isn't Crash 2. What happened to Kalebo? He's around. Yeah, that's why you do it in that specific manner. Spin and bounce around at the same time. Spin bouncing at the first TNT. Be more on the left. One that specifically. You can even try it out on like primed TNTs like that. It's a very good way of testing it if you're not quite certain of what to be doing with that nonsense, you know? Or even non-primed TNTs. Like, that is the timing, it's just that you'll be doing that coming out of a jump. And it's important for this bonus as well as some places in the game. Like, Gone Tomorrow bonus. Except there's a strat in there that I do that isn't something that utilizes that anymore, so lol. Anyway, that's kind of that level, I guess. If you're touching the body slam boxes, you'll land on the TNT without bouncing on it. There's actually nothing to note about Bye Bye Blimps. Mad Bombers maybe, but Bye Bye Blimps? Not really. Tell No Tales has a one cycle. Everyone knows there's a one cycle here. It does save time, it is fast. I personally don't do it because I'm a retard, I think. But you know what? I've never done it. Let's do it. And already you can see why I'm a failure at life. The leeway for this one cycle is a lot. Because it's a long fucking level, so they gave you a lot of leeway in general. But there's also the quote-unquote secret boxes in the level that they're just all 3 crates now. So it's like 12 seconds of time save on top of what you already would get from just like normally jumping on ramps and shit, which makes this into a lot easier to pull off than like making waves, for example, where in making waves, if you miss a single ramp, you're just done. Like, in order of difficulty, this is pretty much on par with Hot Cocoa, which is ridiculous when you think about it. With making waves being the hardest and Ski Craze being kind of in the middle. I think Hot Cocoa is slightly easier than this. Like, obviously I can't really say much other than, like, educated guesses, because as I said, this is literally the first time I'm doing the one cycle for this. But yeah, I think I know my video games well enough. But yeah, at this point you think you just like lose a million years. But like every single thing here is a 3 crate now. That's a 3, that's a 3, that's a 3. And here's another 3. Oh look, it's, yeah, another 3. Imagine. So that's like 15 seconds for free. Anyway, this thing is kind of important to note. If the ship doesn't fucking spawn early like it did, you can actually make that without getting hit and just go, go, go. So you don't have to get hit, you don't have to wait on cannonballs, nothing. It's not particularly tough. The fuck is the gold time for this? Because I have like no idea. Okay, it was a 117 or some shit. Gold is a 125, I think. Yeah, it's 125. So that actually has less leeway than Ski Crazed. So okay, would I recommend? No, I would not actually. There are some ramps in there that are fucking cunts. There's one ramp that literally requires a specific wave, and that's the... Everyone knows that box. I don't fucking know, man. It's the thing. The box, that box. We're not done here. What are you fucking... What are you, dumb? No, we're not done here. 2-meter time trial. There are many things you can do here. You can be a baby, and you can settle for a 114. You can just do very calm, leisurely movement where there's no risk of anything actually happening. Which I'm not really doing calm, leisurely movement. I'm sorry, I don't know how to do that. But maybe the point will be made when I get around to the thing. Or, you know, dropped inputs. Because that's what this game does. I could start off with the God Cycle, I guess, since I am on pace for that. Because I don't really know how to do shit movement in order to like force a 114 on myself at this point. But well, I guess this is more or less the God Cycle. You get here, you land in between these, and yeah. That's a sign, pretty much. Then you land on this, slide spin off of it, and that's your God Cycle. This gives you a 108 or 109, depending entirely on the stairs. That is the God Cycle. It requires a damage boost. So if you want masks out of here, yeah, you can kiss a couple of seconds goodbye. I guess I'll do the in-between then, which is basically a pseudo God Cycle. This allows masks to be taken out, So let me attempt that. I think I made a mistake in the order I did things, because I'm very good at the God cycle. I can pretty much do it whenever I care. Kinda gotta, if I wanna be able to do it in runs and shit. But here, I'm a little bit short of the God cycle. What will I do now? Well, this is pretty much just the in-between. And this is also like if you want masks out of the level. Like you land on this rather than getting there before it. Don't be afraid of the water. Now you land on this and you go. And that gives you a 110. Now, if you're too bad to make either of those, which usually I'd just be like, yeah, just get good, nerd. I understand if you can't make those. Or if you just fuck up in a run and you can't make the cycles, then this is the one that everyone knows how to do. The 114. Because, like, I don't know, you can do this with such shitty movement that it's like, why even bother? Here you land on this, though at this point it doesn't really matter what you land on and what's being done. Even with this I could probably get like the fucking in-between cycle. Thanks for that. Anyway, the gist of that is that you wait on the water to go down and you get the 114. I like how I failed to do the fucking easy things and then the hard things. It's like, yeah. That's the thing. Difficulty is relative, you know? Oh yeah, underneath these platforms there's actually a death trigger that gives you an angel death. It's interesting trivia. Yeah, it's just... I'm used to doing this. Like, I have muscle memory for this. If I try to tone it down, it literally becomes harder for me, so I don't fucking know, man. I want the mask though, because I'm not going for a thing now. I just want my masks out of here because I want to bring them to the next stop on our journey to nothing. How old am I and which shit is shitty? Yeah. Does it matter? It doesn't. Anyway, after you're done with Warp 4, I would assume you enter here to get to 29. This is the only way to get the box gem and the other gem in Future Frenzy. So you kind of have to. This is probably the most technical level in the game. Even counting tomb time. The amount of different techs used here. The amount of shit that goes on, it's like way more than tomb time. And the fact that it's a 5-minute fucking slog through absolutely nothing has a lot to do with that. Let's get our masks back, because we need those, don't we? Future Frenzy I can't really help much with. It's one of those levels where, similar to Tomb Time, it's just fucking learn it. Cycles are gonna be different every time. You have to learn to react to those. I can't teach you to do that. I can't teach anyone to be able to just like think, okay, these are the cycles, and this is my movement from here on out. That's an acquired talent that you can only really teach yourself, I feel. Anyway, at the start, you have to double jump this. it's too high for a glitch high, usually. You can glitch high it. It is possible. You will die 80% of the time, but if you're willing to go for that, then be my guest. Anyway, never go on those platforms. They eat slides. They just don't let you fucking do anything on them. Oh my fucking god. I'm really bad at being bad. Like, the game is literally easier when you're doing hard shit. Well, like, what the fuck? Anyway, like, you'd think you would want to be on this first platform, but no. Half the time when you slide on it, it just fucking stops you. The slide goes nowhere. Or it gives you an extended slide. Yeah, thank you. That's why you don't want to have anything to do with any of these platforms in the entire level. Going through Future Frenzy bit by bit, apparently. God fucking damn it. Hopefully this time I don't have to pretend to be bad, because usually that results in me dying. God damn it. So you can break that with a glitch high regardless of where that guy is. You just kind of have to learn how to do every potential permutation of that. So yeah, just do your usual spins here. Double jump up here, spin, land, slide, jump, spin. That is the fastest method. Don't body slam it, don't just fucking give up and be like, okay, I'm just gonna do this because that's too technical. No. No. Also, don't tornado spin. Seriously, don't. It's a very specific method for breaking that, and it is that. Anyway, here on the backtrack, you just, well, do this, essentially. And here, that is the optimal way of breaking those. And there is a thing you can do. Saboom does this. He takes the invincibility on the way back. In my opinion, that's essentially wasting it. I'm gonna demonstrate again the whole fucking thing. Redo. But yeah, you can grab the invincibility on the way back. And as I said, I consider that a waste. Because, like, you don't do much with it. It allows you to break these faster, because you can just do a slide under. Because the invincibility just breaks them, and you don't get stuck in a crouch. So you can actually jump out of it, as well as spin out of it. Like, that has slight time save, sure, but you get like 5 seconds of that invincibility. Even that much. In my opinion, it's just simply not worth it. But that's my opinion. Make your own opinions. Don't just copy mine. Probably good that I have to go through this beginning like 16 times. This is a very tough part of the level. The whole level is very tough, but it's good that like I'm going through it multiple times then. Also, you do just want to spin that bottom box. Like nothing else. You don't want to touch anything else. You just want to spin the bottom box and just leave it. If you have to, kill some of the enemies around it. Only if you have to. You don't want to waste your time, obviously. But if you gotta, then you gotta. Also, it's still good to kill these enemies just in case you don't get masks after the backtrack. And even then, like, you have the fucking enemies leading up to the mask, they can hit you. So here, I usually just gun it. Like, I don't really care what cycle I'm on. Which does result in me getting hit every now and then. The other problem here is obviously you just sort of have to take it as it comes. You obviously don't want to do that, but you know. So these are my personal strats for this. There are probably better ways to deal with this whole thing. Also, it might be beneficial to leave the enemies alive, at least the first one on the backtrack, because they are synced up cycle-wise. So in order to tell where that second enemy is, you can look back at the first one, because it will still be on screen. Anyway, I will stop you there. Yeah, that is the backtrack. I can't really say much else other than learn it. Learn to improvise it, specifically. Hell, realistically, you'll only be dealing with like 2 possible cycles. One where the laser at the start is on, and one where it isn't. God fucking damn it, dude. Hey, Ben. I need the masks back. I want to do the invincibility. And then I want to kill myself and show you how to not do it with invincibility. Or do it without invincibility if you want to actually speak English like, you know, a person. Because that's important to note, because, yeah, I already lost the mask like 16 times. Obviously, it's kind of important to know how to do it without invincibility, because half the time you will not be getting it. So I'm just gonna start the level over from here, and, well, we can pretend that, like, I've done the backtrack. Haha, right? And so, yeah, this is where the backtrack ends here. Nothing beyond that point. You do want to leave this intact for after this. And you've, like, cleared out everything, and then you just, like, do this. Optimally, you would do this strat, but it doesn't really matter because you can do the slide spin here and then break these 2, and then you can bounce on this on your way over. It honestly doesn't matter. I'm actually certain it has no difference in time, so calling it the optimal strat might be a little bit of a misnomer, but yeah. Just a little bit. So here you just... This is broken, you NSJ, glitch high. Again, no double jump. It's a glitch high. So invincibility, you do this. These aren't here. Pretend they're not there, that's not there either. They're clearly there. I will be going through the level again without invincibility later. But that is the goal of the invincibility, breaking those boxes in the air. The bonus has a lot of fucking hard things in it, half of which will never work, so don't worry about it if they don't work. This is like the general gist of it. You glitch high after that, you do this. You hope that that works, because that's one of the things that doesn't work, and yeah, there you go, that's the easiest bonus in the game. No, that's probably the most technical thing in the fucking game. And half the shit in it doesn't really work. Okay, that hit me. Anyway, glitch high that. It's the fast strat to do it. But what if that's not the way it all happened? What if, in a run, you were to lose a mask on the backtrack or something like that? Well... I'm glad none of you asked, because this is what you do. Oh no, I've been hit. I hope I don't die on my way over to the thingy. Also notably, I don't NSJ around lasers actually. I never do NSJs, I do normal slide jumps because NSJs kind of throw me off, but you know, do whatever works for you. Again, always do whatever works for you. Don't listen to anyone, don't trust anyone. Everyone is wrong about strats. Everyone. You're the only person that's correct about them. So what if... At this point it starts mattering, because at this point you're like encountering boxes and shit. So what would you do maybe without invincibility? Well, here, you kind of have to work with that enemy, so it's kind of shitty, but here, this is probably the only notable thing about lack of invincibility. You'd think you want to just plow through, but no, you want to do this. I'm marginally faster than the other strat, where you just sort of go. Yeah, I don't have a good controller for twins, and that requires like a perfect controller. You can do a spin slide there, but you don't have to because it ends in a body slam like half the time. I will demonstrate, hopefully, because I'm really bad at doing this deliberately. I was thinking I'd get the body slam there on the previous attempt, so yeah. Don't do that glitch high early. Not a very good idea. Here, you want to use the tornado spin to carry you over that. And fuck's sake. Anyway, half the time you try that spin slide and you body slam out of it. Okay, you get that, right? Yeah, you get that. So don't go for it if you don't like it. I don't like it, so I still go for it anyway, because I'm dumb. And I came up with it, so I'm gonna go for it. Anyway, here, just do an NSJ on this guy. You glitch high, as I said. You fail it because you're dumb. Here... you can do whatever. It doesn't actually matter because these elevators kind of function as pseudo like loading trigger things. They don't go up until the thing is loaded properly, I feel, because they go up at like different times. It sometimes takes longer, sometimes takes a lot longer. With invincibility it seems to take a lot longer because you get to them faster. So I feel like the strat for that nitro isn't actually that important. Anyway, there's two things you can do here. You can do this. Like, that's perfectly acceptable. But that's just, you know, giving up, in my opinion. Like, oh no, this other strat is too hard. No, there's no risk of death. There's nothing hard about that. If there's a risk of death in a strat, I can understand. But there's none here. But this is the optimal. And then the game drops all your attempts at spinning. But yeah, you tornado spin all the way around all of that. Hopefully I can actually maybe demonstrate it. If I can't, I'm just gonna exit the level and move on to Warp 5. And yes, this has actually been timed as the fastest strat, so it's one of those things where a timer really helped. I'm not actually gonna move on to Warp 5, I'm gonna do the time trial. But first, this is always relevant, isn't it? Up, left, gets you to the belly button very easily. That's like the only really notable thing I feel right now for the first phase. I could tell you how cycles worked if I had any idea how cycles worked. I think they're random. I just sort of do whatever. And here you wanna blow this up. And then hit that on your way here and hopefully blow that up. But it's understandable if you can't, it's very tight timing wise. And then, you know, just the missile pods. Engine is a hard file, it's one of those things that just takes forever to practice and learn. So just do that, I guess. You don't really have a choice, do you? Bye. Anyway, I'm gonna do that time trial thingy. I could also do Sphinxinator, I guess. Because I never showed the one cycle there. This is self-explanatory, I feel. There's nothing special being done here. There's something I could show you that is special, though. Now, you normally wouldn't necessarily want to do that at Death Abyss, you know? But if you happen to notice that you're on this cycle, which I am no longer on, if you happen to notice yourself on this cycle, which it's an uncommon occurrence for sure, but it's not out of the question. Like, you see that that door just opened, then do this. Damage boost to keep that open. Not the best blue gem route movement, but yeah, you can see the gist of what this is getting at. Every door in the level was open for me now. And this is pretty much the only way to make that happen, so. It does require a damage boost, so keep that in mind for mask routing, obviously. Now here, there's something to note about like the respawn cycle. You just hold diagonally here. And you just spin and jump and you get the clock. And also, this is one of those levels where you might want to learn the respawn cycle just as a backup. Because, fucking shit, man. This is a very easy time trial to die in. So it's good to know what to do if that ever happens. Fuck's sake. Spun light. What the fuck are you doing? Just want to do like a diagonal here and zigzag it all the way. Again, normal slide jump around. If you prefer to NSJ around, then that's your problem, but I don't, so I don't do it. Something to note here is that with the respawn cycle, this guy's gonna be right here, so don't over zigzag. Fuck's sake. And after that, cycles kind of become irrelevant. Like this guy's here, and that's about it. Cycle-wise, you're not really dealing with much of anything anymore. Well, you do have the green platforms here, which might not be green after like my fuckery over there, but you can do that with the respawn cycle if you've done good enough movement so far. And then this guy's gonna be a shitter, so no to go around, you know. It's one of those levels where you might want to know the respawn cycle. You're gonna have to learn to improvise because there's no real way to guarantee a certain cycle. But the respawn cycle is something you might want to learn. Alright, Flaming Ass. This level is shit, I'm just gonna preface this with that. It's one of those levels where you can move at the start for really gaining movement. It's also one of those levels where you improvise everything because there is no consistent cycle for anything you get here. So you can, yeah, spin slide off those guys, it's really nice. Strat-wise, there's nothing really notable until much later on. Like, it's just, you learn to do this over time. The more you practice this level, you have 22 here. That's your way of knowing you got everything. Quick scope the box and go in the death route. Death route is fairly easy stuff. It's basic movement. See, there's no invincibility in this level, but you do want to keep masks, because in the bonus there are damage boosts. Specifically there's one. So you really do only need one, but still. Here I personally do that, because I prefer to, I guess. It seems faster than the usual thing. Yeah. I can't really say much about this level other than you have to learn to improvise. Like, cycle improvisation isn't really a thing necessarily for, like, most. Crash 2, it's nearly non-existent. So there's this strat if you don't have bazooka on you. If you don't have it. This is something only Boomfan does because he actually doesn't have it. He can't use bazooka for some goddamn reason. And I forget what it is, the reason. But yeah, this is fairly tough as far as strats go. Like, even I can't do it because it's been so long. It's irrelevant because it's just as fast as the bazooka strat. If, like, you compare both done optimally, it is the same speed. You could jump them one by one as well, but nah. Also, for single spin bounces, you utilize the same technique as for TNTs. Obviously. And that your damage boost on those last nitros there. And if you don't have a mask, then you kind of have to use bazooka. You can jump up there to pop them, but it's not fast. Jumped early, which means no jump at all. Maybe I jumped late, who knows? I'm really bad at being able to tell. All I know is that this is very consistent for me for some reason. Whereas this is just like, what? Maybe it's because it's two nitros on top of each other, which usually causes more bouncing to happen. Anytime a nitro bounces when you're trying to bounce off of it, it can be like fucking impossible to deal with. It's not always the reason why I fail these things, but you know. Yeah. Basically, I'm bad. For the bazooka strat, there's something to note in terms of how you want to shoot them. It is extremely hard to do it just quickly, but you want to shoot these 3 times precisely, because you can do that. You want shots that pop 2 at a time, and you want 2 of them and then a third to pop the last one. I would never recommend that strat, by the way. Let's see that ending though. So yeah, you're done. You got your thingies. Let's go. High NSJ. And spin out of it. It's one of those things where you get fucked very often by varied height, which I don't know why sometimes height varies so much. But it does, I guess. I think it depends on where you do the jump. It's probably another camera trick, but most people prefer to just double jump up there. I was never a fan of that. As per usual, like I cut out as many double jumps as possible from the entire game. I'm gonna talk about the first motorcycle level, because there's something to note here. It doesn't matter when you get the box gem, and I will show you why. Oh, son of a bitch. I wasn't looking at the screen. Did you know? Fun fact. You can get the gold relic without getting any fucking thing in this level. But obviously these are gonna be in the way, so you're gonna grab those regardless of anything. But you could theoretically do this without a single time crate. Like, math can tell you that much. You're never going to be able to complete it without a single time crate, because there's those two. They're kind of in the way. Unless you deliberately go past that boost, in which case I would brand you an idiot. But, you know, maybe, I mean, it's your problem, not mine. And here you do a nice little turn. It's also probably the first motorcycle level where it's probably good to note you can brake during the boosts. Like right now, I can brake. Watch me. Fucking watch me kill myself. You can only do it to a certain extent though, so yeah, obviously there's that. Anyway, if you can keep your movement well enough and shit, you don't actually have to go out of your way for any time crates to get the gold relic. So I would recommend, because I do this, try to go for box gem on both passes, because there's some tough strats in here that you can fail. Like I feel like this level has probably the toughest box strats. And I do like the same thing I do here as in Tiger levels. I do like a risky pass first and then a safe pass second. Like that box is particularly tough. This is also fairly tough to be able to make. And, you know, keeping the fucking boost. In fact, I'm gonna redo the entire thing and not pretend that I didn't miss a one box. So corner cutting, it's important. Learn to drive, basically. It's what I said for Road Crash and Hog Ride, but I'm here because of the box strats and them being fairly tough. It's not just about learning to drive, it's about learning to drive at the boxes as well. Some of them are fairly hard to get. I would say this section is the hardest in the level. Like, as I said, this is fairly tough. It is very, very, fairly tough. But again, you can use the brake button, which is square, I guess. You can use that to adjust a little bit when you need. Anyway, here you want to hit the brakes. You want to be at normal speed when going off these ramps. Normal speed just makes it all fine. Just don't be boosting at all. you do want to carry the boost as far as possible. So what do? Well, you carry it as far as possible, and then, well, you slow down. This is also a really tough one to do without brakes. Can I? Yes, I can. Then you go around this ramp. No, you go around it. Well, you're supposed to go around it on the left. In fact, I'm gonna do an entire run to show you. Well, Omega, it's actually really important to do corner cutting. It saves a lot of time. Learning to drive is really big. It is a really big deal. Like, that's a shitty turn. I didn't cut the corner at all. So you don't want to go off ramps too much. It's slower. If I do let go of a wheelie, I do immediately press X again. Is that bad? Does it matter? It kind of depends on how I'm doing my turn, actually. In Road Crash, there's a turn where... Fuck. That would be something to explain, wouldn't it? Like, fucking how that works, but I don't fucking know, just learn to drive. But here, this... You want to do this. This is a tough strat. As you can see from the way I fell through the fucking world. It's also something you never want to do on the second pass, because if you miss that box, then yeah, there goes your fucking one cycle, doesn't it? You can make it over that hole. It's just, you know, don't be too shit, I guess. I love it. See, 8-bit, that's the thing. I think I do that though, but like subconsciously, because I do that in Road Crash, which I will take a detour to right now to show you what I'm talking about. My signature turn, which isn't even my signature anything. Yeah, I didn't talk about this level, but there's nothing to really say. It's just fucking learn to drive, cut your corners, watch your run. Like, this is copy and paste stuff. There's nothing to note here. Like, oh, you have to do this way. Like, no, you copy paste the fastest. Like, that's just it. You don't really get anything else. And if you go fast enough, you can make a cycle, which I've already fucked up, so I'm not gonna make a cycle. But here, I'm not here to fucking make a cycle anyway, you know? So that's fine. I'm just here to talk about a notable wheelie that gets cut, where I don't think I actually hold X. Here you kind of have to, but yeah, I have noticed that you lose less speed. So I think I do it based on, like, the situation. Like here I don't do it. Like I just glide until this point. Anyway, this turn I do a mixture, like I just sort of press X based on like where I am. Same thing there, kind of. Like I fucked it up, but I think you get the gist of it. Should be able to anyway. It's really tough stuff to explain. It's one of those things you kind of have to learn by yourself to get it into your own head rather than me trying to shove it in there. You know. I was an orange ass. I think there's nothing really left to talk about. There's the G-spot thing at the end. It's called the G-spot, where you go on the left and you skip all the holes. Which, hole skipping in general in the game is just going over a hole without cutting a slide. Usually it's referred to like a hole skip when you slide over a hole. Also when you use a boost to go over a hole in motorbike levels. There's that thing which is very easy to do. You just like go do it, you'll notice how easy it is. At Bombers, there is something to note about the time trial, not the first pass though. Right? Haha, no, I lied. There is something to talk about with the first pass, but I'm too shit to probably do it. How does this level even go? I forget the route. Let's note the first important thing when you're entering a plane level. On the box pass of both Bye Bye Blimps and Mad Bombers, you wanna be holding right before the loading screen is even done. Because look, I'm going to the right already. How would that work? Well, it works because it does. Anyway, you wanna do that because you are going to the right. There's a couple of things to note about plane movement. Like going up and down is slower, going left and right is slower. Just going straight is generally fast. But it's not a big deal and it doesn't matter that much. Usually, like, I'm already aiming over there by the boxes I'll be going to later. And like, I'm looking at the fucking health crate despite the fact that this is here. Just, like, I don't know, it's something I'm used to doing. I don't know if it's actually fast. Like, literally never trust anything I say because it could very well be bullshit. Son of a bitch. Pretend I got that plane. Because I want to note that this is a thing. Like, you can kill this plane and then get this box. It is extremely tough, but you can do it. And if you can't manage it, then like you just do this, and it's like, yeah, obviously. You go here, you get the box, and there you go. There's the last plane, except I didn't blow up like half the planes in the level. Such is life. But when you're entering the time trial, you don't want to hold left or right, because both will fuck you over a little bit. It's not great. You just want to be headed straight. Get the clock as soon as possible. Then the way I do it is I aim for this box. I wait for the plane there to load in a little bit properly. Then I hit the brakes and take a moment to shoot out this plane. Then wait for this one. Again, in the time trial especially, it is very important to know how to use your brakes. Not as much in Bye Bye Blimps, but in here it is key, because you want to stick to the ass end of the plane without getting bounced backwards. Also, you want to be able to just shoot it at a distance. You don't like want to keep going along with the plane necessarily. And here, hit the brakes again because you're under the box, and as you can see, like I got shit figured out. Like, I know what I'm doing. I say as I missed the last hit on that. Anyway, you want to be around this height, and then you just shoot around the plane, and it'll just explode the engines. Let's see if I can actually do it. Let's see if I can actually do this without having to re-enter the goddamn level. It's really key to learn to control that X button usage. Gotta know when to go slow, when to go fast. In Bye Bye Blimps you will never want to hit the X button, because it's a detriment. Here it's a key to going fast. Like here, like if I just keep going, like you go faster than the planes. Like obviously it's programmed to be that way, so you don't fucking just have to be frustrated over the fact that the planes keep going faster than you. Like that would be fucking annoying, wouldn't it? Then I got that then. You wanna be around this height maybe. Yeah, you see how I just like randomly shoot and it just hits both engines at random? If you do it perfectly, like this plane will be down before you even hit 110 on the clock. It's really fucking strange that it works that way, but yeah. That's really all there is to know about Mad Bombers. It also ties into Rings of Power, which I'll do a separate thing on, obviously. So, yeah. Flame and Passion Time Trial. Another one of those things where you want to learn the respawn cycle. So I'm gonna do the respawn cycle, because, you know, you just improvise on the other thing. Like, this is the thing you can learn. I can't teach you to improvise. You just have to learn the cycles. But this is something like you can actually copy and paste because it's the respawn cycle. Oh, fuck it. I do want that mask, so. That's a perfect diagonal angle. They are known to be fast because yes. That's a good thing about the respawn cycle. You'll know where that guy with the sword is up there, so you don't have to fuck around with that. You can always go up there and know that you'll be fine. Left. I'll take the harder one first. Then I'll talk about Warp 6 shit for a moment. Warp 6 shit isn't gonna be too long of a thing though. So yeah, at the start there you can, again... Hell, I'll get to demonstrate it again, isn't that nice? Before you really are allowed to gain control, you can do a little bit of thing there. That little bit of a thing is... It's not hugely fast, but, you know. God fucking damn it. It's annoying. Yeah, those enemies at the start are annoying if you're trying to go fast, which I am for some reason, even though I should be like pretending this is a run and like this is how you do things, you know? So there's a number of ways for dealing with this. I do it that way. Some people glitch high. In fact, most people glitch high. I don't know why I don't. So here you want to hit everything, and then just tornado spin over there. Like normal jump, tornado spin. You don't want to do it on the left, because the left is shit. Also, I feel like I'm gonna lose the masks, so the bonus is gonna be like a thing on its own. Again, a level where you have to improvise. Also, do it this way. Don't double jump. There's no reason to double jump for anything there. Yet people still do, and I'm unsure why. And nowadays I do it specifically so that the first stack with the TNT actually blows up, because that allows for an extra NSJ. Anyway, here, specific spin timings. You could hear that, right? Calm down. Okay. Because that allows you to do that. Same thing here. It gets you on the ground, able to spin those boxes correctly. Yeah, there's another one of those levels that's gonna be in fucking sections like Future Frenzy isn't. Oh, no, Jack, no. No double jumping. No. It's slow. Okay, you can't make that cycle. I was wondering. So you want to break those in that manner and on the first pass. Like you want that shit out of your life as soon as possible. Damn it. Yeah, if these become a problem, you can double jump tornado spin over. Again, I always exaggerate that sound even in runs, just so just in case people would be able to hear it and understand what is being done. Yeah, obviously, if you don't have to go around the laser, you don't have to do the second one of those. So if you don't get invincibility at the start of the level, there's a strat here where you can bazooka this shit and it spawns all this garbage. It's a slight time saver and a backup, but you know, I haven't had to deal with no invincibility ever in a run, so there's that. So yeah, now you get this checkpoint, which was skipped originally for a very good reason. So yeah, I can't do much about that. And now there's nothing here, so you can NSJ, land, bonus, which I will deal with later, because I'm gonna... Well, this is how you do it maskless, pretty much. If you want to do risky stuff, you can just bazooka that. And then... But if you don't want to bazooka anything, then there's also a thing for that. There's always a thing with that. You can also do that, which is equally safe, I feel. Just the nitro is never safe. Like, as you can see, you can just fucking do it and it's good. You can do this. You can bounce off the nitros as per usual, and it's a thing you can do if you're into that, but I'm not into that, so I'm not gonna re-enter the level for the bonus. I'm just gonna kill myself a couple 100,000 times. I want 2 masks for some reason too, so I guess, well, hey, it's the second mask. So when you have masks entering this bonus, naturally you'd want to use them for something. And here's one method. That's my preferred method. Thank you very much. The reason you want a tornado spin under the exclamation mark box is because, well, otherwise you're not making it, because You can't get out a double jump while you're under a box. Obviously, it's gonna just bounce you downwards and you're just gonna die. Now, there is an alternative method, which I would not really recommend. Of course, the damage boost isn't a part of it at all, but there you go. It's your alternate method. Pick your poison. If you want to go fast, those are your two options. As for the end of the level, there's not really anything. As a safe strat, I usually double jump, tornado spin over. All that nonsense, it's not very necessary, but unless I have a mask, which rarely I do, I will be doing that. So that's that level. Obviously at the end you just go around, but I wanted the masks while getting out of there, so I had to kill myself, because I'll still be using this for buckle life. Of course, there's nothing to note about the time trial. The time trial is like probably the easiest in the game. No, you cannot use the nitro detonator. There is no nitro detonator. This is something to note about Warp 5, because at the bazooka they decided to give you one nitro detonator, and it's in this level. I want to redo that, because there's some smoothness there that was lacking in the demonstration. There's two methods for dealing with that formation. One of them involves a snipe, which you cannot control, but it's nice to get, and the other is basically what I did, except do it actually clean, maybe. That's the snipe, but like, if you don't get the snipe, you just do that and it breaks all the shit. Now this is notable. If you're thinking of doing this, stop exactly everything you're doing and reevaluate your entire life, because you should be doing this. 11. Guess what? It broke everything. So you just spin, jump, spin, or whatever. That will deal with everything, and it is an extremely easy and simple strat. Extremely. But I've already fucked up optimal movement for this invincibility, so that's nice. Optimally, it ends on hitting that stack. And this one optimally ends on entering bonus, which I've already fucked up as well. It doesn't even run out properly. You end it upon entering the bonus. Now, this is an interesting bonus, because you want to deliberately deload some shit. You want to do this. You want to go all the way right, and it loads everything again. And there you go. Now, the deloads will not be consistent. You will have different things happening on every run. Learn to improvise. I guess. If you just want to go slow, then you can figure out what to do there. It should be fairly obvious. I would think, anyway. That's that level. You get 102. Goes into 120. It's probably the easiest level in this warp. But then you go in there a second time, and suddenly it's not that easy. All of a sudden, we're dealing with a very, very tough level. This is something you want to do unless you're suicidal. You want to reset the cycles by restarting the time trial. Otherwise, you'll be dealing with some fun random elements, more or less. Fuck. My movement didn't line up correctly because I forgot a slide spin. I'm gonna run through like an, I don't know, usual thing that I do in runs. Like, this is my safe method, basically. Like, if I just want to get it without really particularly focusing on the speed aspect of anything, then this is my leisurely stroll throughout the level. Note that I'm actually using the green gem platform, because there will be times when that's not necessary. But this is not one of those times. Yeah, your damage boost there to keep that door open. But yeah, this is basically as slow as it fucking gets. You can do this much, much faster. And the methods for that will be divulged in a second. But this is like my generic thing where I just go through the level like I don't really care. I want to get the fucking one cycle without just dying into everything. Spin the gem, NSJ, hit the end. 134 is your gold, and that would have been a 130. And that was with save strats, so... The problem is you can't really fail on cycles here. You kinda have to make everything. So, your movement doesn't have to be strong, but it has to be exact. Unlike Tomb Time, where you have room for mistakes, this doesn't really give you that much room for any actual mistakes. That's why this, along with Tomb Time, is considered like one of the hard one cycles. Top levels only. Anyway, here's a thing. Veer to the left to hit that, and then utilize this thing we talked about earlier. And yes, it has to be a single jump, otherwise, like, why even bother? Because a double jump is just as fast as taking the green jump platform, so it's like, why even care? This is only if you want to go fast, obviously. This is not actually required, it saves 2-3 seconds. I think it's actually 2 at best, so yeah. Fucking thanks for that. Damn it. So it might be good to learn how to do that in the dark, which I'm still bad at it, but you know. I can do it. I'm like half capable of it. Yeah, you don't need particularly strong movement to make this cycle, which is really a shame because like all the movement you do at the start is irrelevant and doesn't actually count towards the things in the level that matter. Which is from here on out. Like this is where your movement starts becoming irrelevant. Being able to make that requires some fucking dumb zigzag, so yeah, have fun with that if you ever want to go for it. Now the cycles are gonna be all fucked up. Like the biggest problem with this is arguably just the cycles being terrible. If you make it here earlier, which is very much doable, because like I had shit movement there, like yeah, come on. If you make it there earlier, then it's gonna be even shittier to deal with. My advice is just to learn how to do it. Like, I might not want to sit here until I can get the optimal cycles and show you how garbage they are and how to deal with it. And if you don't get your jump out, do not attempt another slide jump. Just don't. Just opt out. Just jump, start spinning. I think I'll do one more, maybe. See if I can get that optimal thing. Sake, I'm not gonna bother. Just do it yourself if you want to see the optimal thing, and if you can pull it off, then there you go, good job. I've done it like twice ever. It's really fucking annoying. It's really annoying to even get there that fast, and then the cycles themselves are gonna be really fucking shitty. Anyway, that's Word 5. Cortex has nothing to mention, he's an asshole. Easy boss fight, auto-scroller, nothing to do for time save or time loss. Other than dying, which is entirely possible because, yeah, good boss. So yeah, now all I have left are the quote-unquote, I don't know, secret levels. They're not very secret. 26, 28, and 30. Usually with the way I do it, I leave Ski Crazed for the last, just for the sake of it. I usually start with this. Now, there's immediately a thing to note. You know how people veer off to the left for this? You know how people do that? Like, they go way to the fucking left. I was too busy talking about it to pay attention, but you only need to go slightly left. Did you know that your spin has a huge hitbox for the time trial clock? Fun fact, you only need to be about here, and then you spin. And there you go. That saves a lot of time. And by a lot of time I mean like basically none. Anyway, this is one of those levels where you just want to do it a lot. Like, speed here is just, it just comes from fucking grinding out ILs, more or less. Pretend I got that, you know. Once you can do this level without dropping the boost, the purple boost once, then you're good, but that's not necessary for the one cycle. Just to be able to do it, you actually don't need very good movement. Like, good places to cut the purple boost are there and there maybe. Like, I personally don't do it anymore unless required, but again, I guess now with all boxes. The same rules apply here as Mad Bombers and plane levels in general. Going up and down and left and right is time loss. But you can't really avoid it here too much. So it's like, well, what can you do? Other than, you know, use your generic racing skills to determine what is fast. Like, you don't ever really need to hit the middle of a fucking ring. Like, just hit the edge. Yeah, that was fucking epic, wasn't it? 2 boxes missed, but you get the gist of it. Just sort of do it. That is the easiest level in here. This is the second hardest level in here. Potentially the hardest, but nobody wants to go that far. In fact, let me try immediately to make it the hardest level. So this is just a thing where, well, you'll learn to drive. As mentioned earlier, this is a high level thing, so I'm assuming you're not too shit to be able to actually just do the level, and you know where everything is and how it goes, at least. It is possible to finish this level with a time trial time of 1:31. You can go as low as that with like humanly doable strats. It is not easy, obviously. Generally, anything around like a 135 is very, very well done. The thing here is with this UFO, you can do one of two things. You can try to get ahead of him, or you can wait for him. Now my shit movement allowed me to just do that. You can get movement where if you get that first boost, then, well, you just hit the back of the UFO. But this is like how I deal with my life. Jesus Christ, I forgot. You don't cut the boost there, you cut the fucking shit here, and I was just too busy talking to really pay attention to that fact. But yeah, the general gist of it should be obvious. And, you know, same rules apply. Learn to drive, learn to cut your corners. There's a dumb thing here where I'm gonna slow down for a second. Like, you can take the boost here and go around. It saves like half a second. It's not worth it. Nobody should ever do that. Yeah, Ben, I saw. No. Let's see if I can do that optimal movement thingy. Usually I don't really focus on doing too well on the movement here, because as I said, there's that thing where you kind of have to stop for a moment. But if you do want to focus on doing that optimal movement and getting a couple of seconds out of it, then you're gonna have a rough time, because yeah, Area 51 might turn into resets. Something that nobody in particular would want upon themselves. There is a way to deal with the fact that this fucker is in front of you, and it is this. Now you can already see the problems with this, and why I personally would not recommend this. Son of a bitch. Either way, that's just a bet, I guess. You can go for it if you wanna. I don't. And that only leaves the quote-unquote hardest jet ski level. It is the second easiest. I am not joking. I have been able to determine during this half-assed tutorial that this actually has more leeway than Tell No Tales, making it second only to Hot Cocoa. Now that I'm at the respawn cycle, that's actually kind of shitty. I don't like the respawn cycle. This is one of those levels where I want improvisation cycles. I do not want to know where the cycles are. It's very strange in that regard. This is considered the hardest jet ski level, despite being the second easiest one. And the reason it's the second easiest one is because you need to learn waves, and if you don't, then you're playing it wrong. And just because you're playing it wrong doesn't mean that the level is hard or bullshit or anything like that. Slow down here because of that bounce. And this is why I want that improvisation, because I can show you like a generic example of like what there is to be done here with like just not restarting the time trial and taking the predictable cycles. You need to know your waves. You really need to know these. That ramp doesn't really get affected by waves. You also need to know that, like, which ramps are and aren't affected by the waves. Like this ramp, not particularly affected. This can be, but it's rare. But it can happen, you know. Now this ramp can be really shitty. Like, you saw that wave coming from under? This is probably the shittiest ramp, but now it's in a good thing. You need to hold up going off that ramp pretty much at any time, because tricks are important. Like, you can dive down into a box despite getting a bad wave, like I did with that ramp, as I demonstrated. Like, it's key to being able to do these things fast and without making 100 mistakes. This is actually a tough turn, and that's a tough wave, so wait a second. This is also a really tough formation. I usually miss these, like, I won't fault you for not being able to do them, because I can't fucking do them. Again, here, you can get shitty waves, just react to them. I think I'll just do this level a couple times, just to show that, like, there's nothing to be afraid of here if you actually just, like, learn it. Now this is the, like, real scary part where people get here and they're like, oh no. It's the random part. No, it fucking isn't. Look, it's a bad wave. Sit down for a second. Take a breather. There you go. Was it so hard? No, it fucking wasn't. And here's a dumb strat that nobody really goes for. No, it is not as easy as I made it look. In case you are wondering. Actually a very tough strat. But yeah, this is not a hard level. It has extreme amounts of time for you for leeway. It's got more than 20 seconds of leeway. Making waves has no leeway. It's got a few seconds, so if you miss a ramp, you're done basically. Tell No Tales has, what was it, like 7 seconds? This has 20. Hot Cocoa has 40. Like, the way that people think of the level is like, Hot Cocoa is the second hardest and this is the hardest. Like, no, Hot Cocoa is the easiest. This is the second easiest. It's really weird. And making waves is actually the hardest. But you could argue Tell No Tales is harder because, yeah, it kind of is. So in reality, Tell No Tales is the hardest jet ski level. Because, yeah, it kind of is. Anywho, as I said, I might do this a couple of times just to show, like, this is improvisation, but, like, see that wave? Wait a little bit. Not too much, because it's not that bad of a wave. But there's a bad wave incoming, but it's not coming in right now, so I can just go. Like, there's no, like, problem with just waiting on a bad wave. That's exactly what you should be doing, because you can't do much about a bad wave cycle other than wait. Like, what are you gonna do? Go off the ramp and miss the box and then complain for an hour? Like, you know, everyone in 2013? Like, no. We know how shit works nowadays. It's not RNG, it's cycles. You can wait on it. Like, that's a bad wave. Go off the ramp slowly, while diving downwards by pressing up. Well, I know, Boomfan, which is why I said that Tell No Tales is probably the hardest. But as far as leeway goes in this level, you got so much fucking leeway that, yeah, I would say it is the easiest. At least the second easiest, because, you know, Hot Cocoa. But again, bad wave. Wait a second. Bad Bad wave again. Wait a second. Backflip, by the way, to increase your height. Like, I did that really slowly, but guess what? I got all the boxes. Wow, it's almost like that's the entire point. You know? Tell No Tales matters a lot. My PP loses 30 seconds in there. It kind of matters a lot. There's no such thing as bullshit, though. There is no bullshit. Everything is under control. Everything is controllable 100%. Which is why I just managed to do that level without a single missed box due to, like, waves. I missed one box on the first attempt because I'm bad at those. And I noted that, like, I'm bad at these. I might just miss these every now and then. Because they require something that isn't just, like, looking out for waves. That's a bad wave, but I'm early, so it doesn't matter. Like, there's a reason I can just go into this level with any cycle, and I can just be like, okay, I will not miss a single box due to a wave cycle. Because at a certain point, you shouldn't have to, you know? There is no bullshit, there is no randomness, there is nothing like that. Everything is 1000% under control. I wouldn't say it's an easy level because it requires a lot of knowledge rather than like just movement skills. You see the kind of shit that I missed though? Like that box? Yeah. That's the only thing that'll really get me. Like waves are just under control. But I'm dumb. I can't control that. That's a bad wave, so I think I'll just wait for safety. Just ever so slightly. That is a terrible wave, so just... yeah. That's what happens when you don't slow down. Like, you have to come to like a dead stop and hold up like that. Which I didn't, which was bad judgment. Because I thought I could just make it with that speed while holding up. It's a really shitty formation, I'll give you that, but it's not bullshit because it's entirely controllable. It's a bad wave, but I think I can deal with that. It's a bad wave, but I think it'll be good. I think Hot Cocoa might be the hardest along with Tell No Tales, with this being... I don't know, I wouldn't say it's tight with Making Waves, but it is harder than Making Waves. Realistically, as far as time trials and one cycles go, this is one of the easiest ones. Making Waves is actually harder than one cycle. It's just that, in general, Making Waves is a level isn't as hard. Now, these are okay waves. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit to make that one. And this one. But you can work with anything, because there is no bullshit. And, you know, learn that strat, because it's actually kind of tough and something you might want to sit down and learn. But yeah, like, god fucking damn it, it's not even 20 seconds, like, it's more like 25, 27, something like that. Because you can get low 30s, but the time trial clock is still going to be frozen for like an hour and a half, so fuck's sake, man. Yeah, that's how you play 105 optimally, and that's how you do ski crazed. Yeah, I know you're half memeing, but it's like, this is something people say though. That's the main point. This is people genuinely, unironically say, "Oh man, this is bullshit jet skis." Like, no. You're too lazy to learn wave cycles. You're too lazy to sit down and think, oh, how should I react to these waves? Like, no, that doesn't make it bullshit. That makes it difficult. Yeah, it requires a lot of knowledge, but it's not bullshit. You're just dumb and don't know how to play a video game. But yeah, that's the entire fucking game. In a nutshell. You know, a 3-hour nutshell. Let's see if I can end with a bang. can't end with a bang. Fuck. Meh, I guess. Yeah, this is shit tutorial, I guess. Like, it's just a lot of rambling and talking about nonsense that nobody really gives a fuck about. But, I mean, it's there now, I guess. It's out there. I've got my opinions, my hot onions out there to the masses. And it is kind of shitty that it's, like, exclusively high level. But I don't care to teach low level. Like, sitting down and going through like really basic stuff, like this is a slide. Wow, you can move during it. It's called a curl slide. You can even do it twice. You can make it into 5 times. That's a zigzag slide. Like, no. That's how you zigzag. A good way to test if your zigzag is good is if you can deload engine in Crash 2. Haha. No. Yeah, did I forget anything though? Other than blatantly ignoring most jet ski levels. Well, making waves in particular. And I did the Tell No Tales 1 cycle, which I guess covers both time trial and whatever. And I didn't do Hug Ride at all. Oh yeah, there's Dingodile strats. I bet you didn't know that. Did you know that you can do this? I bet you didn't. You can also jump directly onto Dingodile with a single jump, but you know. I imagine the task does that already, because it's only really possible in a task setting. Because, yeah, it's never fucking happening RTA, is it? Well, I know it exists because it did happen once, and I was confused. That's the only thing, like, that matters to the first hit. Like, the rest are just, like, you have to wait for him to become fucking actually hittable again, so... Yeah, shit. Yeah, that about covers it, because I didn't really... Well, I didn't go into bye-bye blimps at all, so fuck. But I talked about planes. Yeah, I think that's the video game. Could talk more about Toon Time, but I don't wanna. Like, I don't know, practice, and then practice more, and then practice again, because your practice wasn't good enough. I don't care how long you practice. If you practice for 7 days straight, literally without sleeping or eating, you didn't practice enough. Yeah, I think I'll run through this again one more time while berating everyone. No. It's just, it's tough. It's hard. Just, you have to figure this out on your own for the most part. Otherwise, you're not gonna learn it correctly because you're just gonna try and copy paste. Like, you can tell Vanny learned this correctly. You can look at his movement, see it's actually not the same fucking shit as mine. You can tell he learned it correctly, and you can tell that's why he's consistent at it. Though not that consistent. Like, he's fairly consistent. Anyway, here's damage boost strats. I mentioned that earlier, yay. Extended slide off, because extended slides are slightly faster for killing yourself. What a concept. And then you just fucking run. There are no specifics, you just go fast. I mean, there's this time trial strat where you can get oil physics onto the button from there, but you know. And You can miss that box because I'm sure that doesn't matter or anything. Fuck. There's a number of ways to deal with this formation. You can slide spin through and there's diagonal walk and spin, or you can do this thing that Vanny does. And a bunch of other people do it as well. Yeah, I guess this is a fitting place for fucking tomb time stuff. Right at the very end, just like specific mentions. You want to zigzag the whole slide onto the oil. And you want to slide to the left here, even though it might not seem fast. Then you want to zigzag slide onto the oil. That's not a cycle you'll ever see in an actual attempt of this, so ignore that. Here, you want to do this slide jump because it's kind of fast. You don't want to do what Vanny does, where he just hops off the oil. I don't know. There's a lot to talk about here. Most of which I don't want to talk about because I want, like, if you're gonna learn this, I want you to sit down and learn it. You can't just copy this, really. You can, but it's not gonna do that good for you. Just like, it's just gonna, you're gonna end up with a stronger understanding of what you're doing and like how all this movement lines up, why it lines up, why you should be doing specific things, what you should be doing for safety and all that. Like, you need to figure that out. Like, I can't just tell you because I don't know how everyone in the world might play Crash 3. I just know how I might play it. Like, I do that spin slide off of those. That's not even necessary. Did you know that? You can do different strats. Wow, shocking. And like here, as I noted, like I do this, and like I spin rather than get spin timer like a bitch there. Whereas Vanny does like 2 slide spins. I do my thing for safety. And here, you can do this for safety, which Vanny does that. It kind of lines up to be about the same speed, because the slide gets you to the box on the left really fast, I think. Whereas the walk doesn't force you to go in that direction for so long. Oh yeah, and here you want to do 3 spins. And if you ever break this, 3 spins. 2 spins. That's a backup for you, I guess. Backups are another thing that like I probably should be going through and teaching, but you know. That's one of those things I would hope that people figure out for their own, because I can't know what works for everyone. Point is, this is arguably the hardest level in the game. Of course, you can always trivialize it entirely by just, you know, button glitching. Which I guess I could do that again. I'm at least semi-consistent at doing it. I'm one of those people that can like actually do it really easily if I just do it like this. But if I have to fucking come in, the lag that happens when you open the level kind of fucks me, but usually I can do it normally from there. I kind of missed it by a frame or something, I don't know. I did it earlier, I think. That's just the point. Oh yeah, and there's like a safe setup if you want to be a baby about it. But again, I cannot emphasize enough how fucking dumb it would be to think that, oh, I can only get this with button glitch, I should put it in my run. No. No. Button glitch is a thing that like takes nerves off. Like you don't have to be nervous about this if you got button glitch, right? But no. As a thing that makes it possible for you, you should never do this in a run, because this is like a world record competition only thing. Like, it's obviously your business what you do in your runs, but this isn't necessary to even sub 203. Did you know that? Fun fact, you can get a 201 with tomb time, not one cycled. So don't focus on button glitch. Button glitch is not useful for anyone. Hell, if you're at the point where it's like, oh man, I need this the world record, but I can't do it correctly, then well, you can't. There is no such point like where your movement is so bad that you can't do, like, you literally cannot do tomb time, but you could world record if you can get all the 1 cycles. Like maybe that's a thing if you got like perfect movement with your garbage movement. But realistically, like, I'm thinking like GT tier movement. Or like maybe even a step above like Teddy's movement. Like maybe he could, but like he's hardly playing perfectly, is he? Like, I don't know, just if you're going to use this, then go all the way. Don't fucking half-ass it. Don't just think, okay, I'm gonna cheat. Like, no. Button glitch out. No. Button glitch can be used to swap time trial times around. Like, if I stand on the number 9 button to open up level 9, and then I enter the level while spinning and jumping on the same exact frame that I enter the portal, I'll still have control. But due to how the game is programmed, which is like shit, you can step on another button to load the time trial, like metadata, I guess. Which, if I step on the 6 button, it will set it as GWiz times, which allows me to get the gold relic at 124. Which is 14 seconds faster, or slower rather, than the 110 standard of tomb time. 14 seconds is a lot of fucking time, so that would allow pretty much any idiot to be able to make this. On NTSC, yes. On PAL, no. Because on PAL they fixed it in a weird way where it loads the time trial times from the level itself as you enter. It's kind of a hard fix. Like, you can't deal with that, there's no way around. It's not a fucking band-aid. Like, they fixed that shit well. But they didn't fix button glitch, so in that way you could think of it as like a dumb band-aid fix. So you can still button glitch on PAL and NTSCJ. You know, I think that about does it. There's not really much else to talk about.